together, but no, Beth, yours goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles, Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back to the CVR World Cup Mixer page. As always, my name is Jesper Anker and I'll be guiding you through all the action as it unfolds live out here today on the various CVRcade tracks. We are in the run-up to the CVRcade World Cup. We concluded Season 1 not too long ago, just before Christmas, where we saw $25,000 be distributed to all the racers that were racing in there, qualifying, performing really well. Stories were being made. Last that, it was so good. Now we're in the run-up. It's 2020. It's a new year. So far, Homer Thompson and Quentin Molyneux have been just a cut above the rest. Will that change? I guess you'll just have to stick around and watch. But before we go talk to a few of the riders, now TMC have been trying to track this guy down. The Sun, the Daily Mail have been trying. This has been, I mean, Civil Blogger got a bit of the scoop, but I think the rest of the CVRcade world is kind of waiting what's happening and making his first ever appearance here as a non-Team Cycling Hub member. Timothy Tamont, the stage is yours. The flashlights are on. You need to tell a story.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and then Timothy left. Oh,
hello?
He's back. Your internet cut out for a second. You're back.
Family might have put Netflix on there. So I left Cycling Hub last week because, yeah, it didn't really work out anymore. Different ideas and all that. So for now, just the plan was to ride solo for a bit, but that quickly changed into getting a few people together and creating a new team on CVRcade. It's nothing concrete yet, but we're working on it.
You're creating a new team?
I'm looking into it, yeah, definitely. We'll get a few riders on and we'll start smashing these CVR World Cups.
Well, what can we expect from a Timothy Termont-led team? And I think, first of all, because we have got a minute and a half, and this is major news in the CVRcade sphere, how, if people are interested in joining Termont's tiers team or name pending, how so, and what can we expect from your team?
Name definitely pending. Let's not go there. I'm always available on Messenger, on Facebook. Yeah, they can always message me. Well, looks like I just got a message.
On cue. Timothy, now you come back, you race. Does this mean you have a bit of an agenda today with the racing? Because I see you're wearing the shirt. You've got a new shirt on, you're rocking it. Does this mean today it's guns out, suns out?
It's surviving today. Had a really rough day at work. Yeah, excuses, this and that, but just gonna. It's been a while since I've been on the bike as well, so we're just gonna survive today. See what you can do. Don't expect much from me today.
We'll keep a keen eye on Timothy. Timothy making the blockbuster move to leave Cycling Hub, and you had it here first. The exclusive scoop, Timothy Tamont looking to create a team, cycling team. Also broadcasting in today, we've got Quentin Molyneux, who's undefeated so far in zones that he have started in 2020. Will he make it 3 for 3? We've got Nigel Doyle early in New Zealand. He has been up, he's been awake, he's been ready. Last Tuesday, we saw him with the Butt Patrol. Will it be more of the same, or will he change up the pace? Casey Shum is also in here. He is making a return into the racing. He made the move to Team Cycling Hub. So with one member leaving, one member coming in, and now Chris Pritchard is also in racing here today. Good to see Kayla Laguna as well, as she usually races Zone L and Zone T, but today she's opted to start start in Zone K. How will she fare against Nigel, Chris, Allison, Timothy, Quentin, Casey? And let's not forget, the man of the hour on Tuesday. He started Zone K. He was cramping up. He started Zone L. He was cramping up. He thought about racing Zone T, and then he came, he saw, he conquered, and Homer Thompson is back for more, but off to a poor start here in Zone K. He's been dropped off the back. We saw Kayla forced to use a power-up to try and get back in, and she is now back in. I do have the chat open. Peter Castrop saying, go on, Timothy. You've got Beth in the chat saying, sloth, question mark, question mark. So, Mutt KG is also a fan of Sloth Cycling Team. You never know if that's part of the game plan. Now, Homer Thompson, unreal what he did on Tuesday. He's in here. He's been maybe caught off guard. We have 3 laps of Dark Matter tech. Low skill, so uncrashable, corner caper, quantum shifter on. He's using his comeback kit here to try and get back in, and he needs all the points he can get, because when you are racing against the defending CVRcade World Cup Grand Finale champion Quentin Molyneux, no gifts come easy. Nothing here comes wrapped up, put on a platter, and ready by Christmas Day. Now you gotta go out, you've gotta fight for your rights here. So what will they be bringing? Now, we've also got Chris Pritchard, Alison Kubota in here. Chris is currently live streaming on his YouTube page, I believe. So if you want to see Chris Pritchard with his infamous horse breathing noises, as you've all come to love and expect at this point, it's different, but one thing's for certain, you always get a good laugh watching Chris. He's currently live over at Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show, I think. So if you want to go watch that, you can do so. How will he fare today? He was okay in the team league. He had the Pink Panthers. Today, well, could be his day. It's a smaller field today, so the odds are more in his favor. But then you look at the riders on the start line here, and it's Nigel, who was getting really hot towards the end of 2019. Quentin, his results speak for themselves. Casey, Timothy with a new team. Oh, Biking Goose says that Chris isn't live, just FYI. Well, that's a shame. I saw Chris was live on Tuesday, so I assumed he'd be live again today. But nonetheless, always a joy to have more riders on the platform as Chris moves up the ranks from cadet to competitor. The sprint is coming up. Nigel has gone early in the past, but I think everybody's eyes are on Quentin Molyneux. Quentin has done well in these sprints, only really getting beaten by Ryan and Peter Castrop. And since Castrop is sidelined with a bit of illness, shame on you, Peter. Better shake that soon to get back in. I think everyone's eyes, you can see Quentin, he's winding it up. He's got the gear ready. First up, Nigel, Allison, 700. Nigel goes to 7, Chris goes to 7, but 1400 equalized watts from Quentin. He moves to the left, and one-on-one. Quentin looks to have taken the first one. Timothy Tamont crosses in second. Allison with a great third place. Nigel Doyle takes fourth. Casey in fifth. Then Chris, Homer, Kayla. Now, we've got an interesting day of racing here because we start with Dark Matter Tech. Then we go to Submerged Stadium, which is up next here on the cutting block. Then we've got, oh, wait for it, everybody's favorite, 4 laps of Temple Run. I think when everybody looks at that start list or they look at the races, they're like, yes, 4 laps? Oh, this is gonna hurt. 4 laps of Temple Run. It comes on the back of 2 laps of Rocky Mountains last Tuesday. And these races are good because they really showcase the science and the physics, like the riding dynamics of CVRcade, unlike no others. So this is where the group dynamics, this is where it all comes into play. So we've got Quentin on the screen again. Quentin, starting off your third zone here in good form. Was it extra sweet that it was Timothy in second?
To be honest, I wasn't looking where Timothy was. It was a very, very nervous finale. I think it was, I'm going to say a name, I think it's Peter. I'm not sure if he was in here. I saw a yellow bike, and I think it was Peter, who tried to instigate the sprint. And it nearly worked because it got me nervous very, very much. And then, I mean, I saw 200 meters to go, and I saw one guy moving up, and I was like, okay, I just need to focus, need to respond now and try to go with him. And then it was just a sprint to the finish. Yeah.
Now, rumor has it you may be cutting down a tiny bit on your racing. Is that something? Is that just you being a gentleman to the rest, saying, you know what, you can have some of the Omniums, I'm gonna bow out, or what's going on?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with me being a gentleman. It has something to do about a VO2 test that I took, and apparently I need to focus way more on my zone 2 to make it possible to grow. So that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to limit my exposure in the more intense zones, and try to make up for it in the lower zones.
Now, I think it was actually Nigel who was in the race who may have made it a bit jumpy. So let's go and hear from Nigel as he is moving around. Is everything okay, Nigel?
No, I can't get into the game. I'm stuck.
Oh, I'm sure that
I'm not on the track. Yeah, I'm going to have to restart the game again.
Make sure to restart the game. A member of support, make sure to get in contact with them and they will look into it with you, of course. We've got Kayla who's ready to go here for Zone K. Kayla, racing Zone K instead of Zone L. How does that shake up things?
I'm just still not too much, honestly. I mean, there's different people that you're racing against, so I just have to, be mindful of that and the competition that's out there. But overall, the legs are feeling pretty decent. Just trying to keep my riding under, not doing too much in a certain day. So, just decided to do this one earlier today, and excited to have different competition in this zone.
It'll be fun to watch. Thank you, Kayla. So we've got Submerged Stadium coming up next. We've got 6 laps of Submerged Stadium. Up next, we've got 1 power plant, 1 Racer's Edge. And I think looking at who was in here before, Quentin looked pretty strong. He was, ready, and he was lethal on the front. I think Timothy may come out here. This is his first race back. He's actually swapped into the Pink Panthers outfit on track. We have not seen this since the CVRcade Team League, where Chris and Timothy were on the same team. Now, Chris, of course, has swapped into the Team Cycling Hub jersey as he's racing under that banner. So we won't get to see the Pink Panthers back in action. But that's good to see. Looks like Casey is ready as well as he's rocking the State of Illinois National TT Championship. I think that is the jersey of. So good to see Casey, both talented outdoors, but also very much indoors as he's made a name for himself racing. So see, we've got about 17 people in the chat right now. Got Castro, who's lively. You got KG as always. So make sure to join in if you see anything, if you spot anything of fun. Join in the chat. So this race does not have Uncrashable in it now, Casey. He's waving goodbye because he's on the front. Quentin is attacking, and Casey's not gonna cover this move. They're teammates. But now with Timothy not being on Team Cycling Hub, it changes up things. Where in the past, Timothy would sit third wheel, he would just be confident, he'd be comfortable in the situation. Now, he's gonna have to make a move, and this is exciting. What does Casey do? Because Casey was a bit confident. You can see him waving to the camera saying, bye-bye, Quentin, no one's catching you back up. But now that Timothy, unaffiliated out here, Casey's got to work here. And Submerged Stadium is sneaky difficult because there isn't really any gradients on it, but there's some twists, there's some turns. You've got to be careful. Wait, am I seeing this correctly? I'm seeing Nigel in a... Wait, I can't wait to hear from Nigel. No, Nigel goes down, the curse of the commentator, but Nigel Doyle in a Vixen kit. Oh, Nigel, that's cheeky. I can't wait to see afterwards what that's all about. Velocity Vixen, change that to CCC. Loads of transfers, loads of moves being made ahead of the next season of the CVRcade World Cup. While that was happening, Chris Pritchard also fell down as he tried to put a bit of a block on Nigel. Did not succeed. On the front, it is all together as Timothy Tamont, who's at 197, has gotten back to Quentin, but has definitely seen him having to work hard on this one. So, side by side, you've got Timothy on the left, Quentin on the right. Past teammates, Timothy breaking up the boy band. The Belgian duo have been lethal in the past. They've been so effective, they've been so good, but now going each other's ways, now making their solo albums. Who's going to be the more successful of the two? Who's going to rank the highest here on the front? Crucible says, way to go, Jesper, you jinxed Nigel. It's not my fault. Nigel wearing a different jersey. Of course, I'm going to call that out. Now, chasing these two riders, Timothy and Quinten, is Kayla, and it is Casey, and it is Allison. Allison has been strong in the past. She has been out a tiny bit. She's back into the racing. She sits in third place. If there's one thing Allison is great at, it's this. It's sitting in that uncomfortable zone of herding. You just keep chucking away at the gap. And you start with a 10-second gap to the front, but then slowly but surely, you take 1 second. Then you take 2 seconds. Then you take 3 seconds. And that's what Allison just does. She's very good at this. But Timothy Tamont at 202 equalized heart rate very early on here at his limit. And if we contrast it to that of Quinten Molinez, it's two very different faces. Quinten looks to be in control. He's on the front. They're keeping the pace high, but not that high, because if you compare it to Allison, she's going to make contact now. She's at 42 kilometers an hour, 40, so 4 kilometers an hour difference. What happens now? These three riders will not work together. Allison is just going to go to the front here and continue what she's been doing all along and try and put some hurt in. So this is going to get very tactical very soon here as the chat is coming in. Castro is saying karma, Nigel. So love it. Love that there's a bit of drama. That is what we live for here in the community. But as predicted, Allison goes on to the attack. The blue jersey of Cognition. Timothy reacts. Further back down, you do have Casey. You got Chris Pritchard. They're just sitting in. Casey is just marking moves for his teammate, just letting Kayla do all the work as he is getting a bit of rest. Chris is behind as well, so be interesting to see if Chris can get back on terms. He should be more and more equalized. He should be rising up through the ranks here. If he can continue his hard effort, I think he may be a rider to watch here in Season 2 of the CVRcade World Cup as we are in the run-up. Now, on the front, Quinten, Timothy, and Allison, the three-rider group here. This is where, like, Allison's strategies, they come into question because she's so strong, she is so good, but she has this tendency to work with everybody as Chris goes down. And that's great. You like, you go to the front, you secure your top 3, but if you're just going to continue the high pace, Quinten, Timothy, if they hang on, they may be able to come around you in the sprint. And as I say that, Casey Shum, he's got his power plan. He's got his racer's edge. He attacks in the straightaway. He's got to be careful, though, because he's coming into this corner quickly. He slides right on through, 57 kilometers an hour. This is a man who knows the corner speeds, not too scared of overcooking it, as he knows at a certain speed, you can cut right through these corners like they're butter, and you won't slide all the way out to the edge and then fall down. But 7 seconds is the gap to the front. This means that Quinten now will no longer do any of the pulling. So if Allison ever pulls off the front, which I doubt she will, Quinten will not take a step to the front. Timothy sits comfortably in third. Meanwhile, Allison, now I understand it. You keep riding hard here because now you do not want Casey back in the group. So if you are Allison Kubota, you're thinking, this is an Omnium. It's a best of 4 races today, and if Casey Shum gets back in, my odds seriously diminish. They go down. There's less of a chance that I go out with a top 3 or even a victory in this one. So let's ride on the front. It's Casey versus Allison. But in doing so, I mean, she is riding Timothy off her wheel. So Timothy looks to be in Strugglesville here as he's barely maintaining the wheel of Quinten. And this is something we've seen Timothy struggle with. The drafting dynamics of the game. Staying glued onto the wheel ahead of you is not that easy. It requires skill. Quinten, excellent at it right now. So this is Timothy's GoPro camera view. If we cut to Quinten's here, as he actually just moves to the right, and he's, ooh! Quinten trying to force a mistake out of Allison. You can see the smile on his face. as I was going to the front on camera, Quinten moves to the right. He knows that the speed Allison is doing, she's going to slide out. And so Quinten, again, as we look from above, he's trying to force a mistake. And this is thinking 2 moves ahead. This is playing chess when others are playing checkers. Because you could just sit in with Allison. You could just be comfortable. But what he's trying to do here is, first of all, put Timothy in a bit of hurt. But also see if he can take out Allison in the process. So 2 birds with 1 stone is happening here. So I'm just reading. We've got Crucial Ball back in here. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Crucial Ball has really spiced the chat up. So thank you, Crucial Ball, for being the light of the channel of the Mixer chat here. It's Timothy again at 195. We've already seen him at 202. Timothy, are you dead? Oh, he's shaking his head. He's got nothing left. We won't come to him here as he's on his limit, but looks like Allison and Quinten have succeeded. And this is now also thanks to Quinten going to the front, seeing his old teammate struggle. He's taken up, but I'm not sure he's actually doing much of the work here. He slows it down. Timothy comes back. Resurgence. Razor's Edge and a power plant. One last go here as he's trying to get back on terms. Can he shut it down? We were the last lap. 1 kilometer remains. Oh, he dodges both of them. Next level moves from Timothy. He almost hits the back of Alice. Oh, and then he crashes. He crashes into a bot. The sloth goes down, and Casey says bye. Quinten says bye. Allison says, see you later. That stamp was licked. It was posted. It's in the mail. It's all gone express. Now, Quinten, I mean, this is what this man does best. When you come into crunch time, he's only ever really faltered under pressure once, which is also the most significant moment in the history of the game so far. But ever since then, he's been getting better. He's been getting calmer. He's been getting more controlled. But Allison chasing him down, Razor's Edge being used. She's got to be careful she doesn't slide out in these corners. But Quinten, he does it as well. He goes through. He's got to be careful. They're pushing this to the limit as, oh, he knows. He knows. One more tick, 1 more second, and he would have slid out. But he does not. With 300 meters remaining, we look in the rearview mirror. It's Quinten, it's Allison. It looks to be Quinten making it 2 for 2 here. But let's not forget, there's 4 laps of Temple Run after this. So make sure you've got your popcorns refilled, got your can of pop, whatever your choice is. Pepsi, Coke, we don't discriminate. Quinten wins. Allison gets second. Back in third. Casey Shum will take 3rd place. And then you've got Timothy Tomat. I like how Casey just casually just walked in to 3rd place here as he put in 1 or 2 big efforts. And Timothy, who was in the front the entire race, risked it for a biscuit, crashed into Bud Clement, I think his name was. And now Team Sloth further back down as he's off the back. Kayla will come over the line next as she is sprinting against Chris Pritchard here. So she's got 199 as her equalized heart rate. So Chris pushing the envelope. Now, as we go to the instant replay, I am very interested to see and hear from Nigel Doyle, because that's a different kid. That's not CCC, and that's not something you just accidentally do. That is definitely someone who's gone in, changed their avatar as we get ready here for Temple Run. We see the highlights once more. Quinten Molinez riding off the front. He was with Allison, he was with Timothy. He got rid of Timothy, and then Timothy came back. But when you're on your limit, it gets quite tough to make the right move at all times, and that's what separates the very best at the top with those who are just nearly there. Peter says, Homer for Temple Run? Well, it could very well be. Now, I see Nigel's got a few, he's fixing up some stuff again, so we'll let him figure it out, and then when he's back on the bike, we'll go and talk to him. But, Timothy, in that race, you were there, you were at 202 heart rate, we saw you say you were dead. Man, you were just there, what happened?
I was never really there. Like, I was there, but I was never really in contention there. Yeah, it's gonna be, give me a few omniums to get back into this. And then we'll see.
Well, we'll give you the omniums, Timothy. It looked like fun racing out there. Let's see if Nigel is back in and on the bicycle. I think he is. Nigel, that is a different shirt. That is not CCC. Is there something we're not aware of?
Yeah, I'm in Team Velocity now.
What? Since
Yep.
when? How? What's the transfer fee?
Yeah.
More than you get paid.
Oh. Oh man, I want to know because I know Ryan, he deals in maple syrup cookies. I know Beth likes her Peeps. I want to know what was under the table here. I think we need to have the...
Nothing under the table. Jeff Rooney, who's a Kiwi like me, him and I talk quite a bit. And we were chatting and it came to, Jeff suggested we be on the same team because we're in the same time zone, because the times are a little bit awkward for us. If we rode together on the same team, it might be beneficial for us in Zone T. Some of the Velocity riders ride Zone T, so which suits me as well.
Well, that is a blockbuster trade, Nigel. I never could imagine you in a shirt that's not yellow, but I have to admit the shirt looks good. Congratulations, man. I'm excited to see what you bring here. I'll let you get ready. I'm sure more questions will come up as more of the racing happens, but I love the lifespan of the community. I mean, you have Casey joining Team Cycling Hub, massive. Then you have Vixen picking up Carl Axel Sander, picking up Jeff Rooney, massive. Then you got Timothy Tamont leaving Team Cycling Hub. I mean, that's just a bombshell right in there in the mix. And now Nigel Doyle, probably one of the most long-standing members of the community, one of the initial creators of CCC with Peter Castro, has said, you know what? I need a countryman. I need someone next door that I can knock on the door and say, let's play CVRcade. You know what? We respect it, Nigel. I'm excited to see what that brings to the table. But 4 laps tempo run is coming up next year. The power-ups available are 2 weight lifted, 2 wind at your backs, and 1 uncrashable. And there is also a wind out on track. So 4 kilometers an hour. It's just going to be 19 kilometers of racing in total. You need to really utilize the draft. You've got to find your place. You've got to put on the pressure. And I think this is going to be very, very different because you don't have your Tim Fulford in here. There is no Sebastian Kuhn. There's no Ben Shuilong. You got those forces on the front that usually really push the pressure. Left of those, it's really just Quinton here. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. But almost as predicted by Peter Castro, one man, he goes into the telephone booth, he picks off the glasses, he takes off the shirt, he comes back out, suddenly he's got a cape, and now, is it a bird? No, come on, Homer! Come on! As Homer Thompson crashes. Let's see the replay. I'm not even sure how that happened. So, you've got the Clark Kent impression from me, as this is going to be great on instant replay. Homer, 43 kilometers an hour, comes on through here. He's very, very quick. I think he's trying to move in lanes when he's going too quickly, and so he's been accelerating, and he comes back in, and it's just too much, but he's just going to start with a deficit from the back. We see Timothy with the bot patrol. Timothy, what's the strategy? 4 laps, what's the strategy?
Like you said, bot patrol for me. 4 laps. What madman cut to this? Gee.
You've taken over the duties from Nigel Doyle. He was whipping the whip last week. How is your bot patrol skills?
We'll see in about half an hour. It's non-existent, apparently. They're dropping me. Good
time to learn it right now, Timothy. Don't let them get away from you. But on the front, it is another Cognition team member who... Alison Kubota is just rocking away here. She's got Casey with him. She's got Quentin. She's got Chris here as well. And she's just going to try and ride them off their wheel. I think Quentin may be looking back thinking, can I bring Chris with me? Can I bring a few more riders? But, I mean, look at this. Nigel, he's down here. I'm going to have to get used to this. That Velocity Vixen kit on Nigel Doyle fits like a glove. But it's kind of like you look in the mirror and you're like, Is that really me? When it's like, month into new year, new me. But Nigel Doyle, he's up there. Homer, despite his crash. Now, I did see Tim in the chat say it's a 42 corner, meaning the max speed you can go into it is 42 kilometers an hour. Homer, he's back. And you'd imagine if he catches his breath, if he gets steady, he goes in here and he's going to attack over the top. Because in Zone T, even though Beth commentated it, we saw Homer Thompson in there 10 seconds back, just ride his way back up, and then over the top. And that's what Homer succeeds at. But now, there's a change at the front. 4 laps of tempo run here. Quentin has hit the front here. It's 4 kilometers an hour. It is the steepest sections of the climb here at the very end. Homer with an uncrashable. And he's also using his weight lifted here. So, not sure if he fat fingered the uncrashables. You only get one as he was going on through. He gives the shake of the head, yes, because I can't really see that there is any benefits from uncrashable in that specific moment, but it's okay. You've still got plenty of power-ups left there. As we got Beth in the chat celebrating the... Beth, when we did the talk show on Wednesday, you could have mentioned Nigel Doyle was in your team here. You're keeping something from the rest of us. A scoop and a half. Well done, Beth. That is a good addition to the team. Casey, I like how Casey on the last track just like did his own thing, didn't want to spend too much energy, still came third. He's probably going to try and look to do the same here. If we've got access to the stats, it'd be really fun to see average equalized wattage compared to their position, because in the last race, Timothy was through the roof. He was at 202 equalized heart rate. He came down, he went up again, then he actually physically came down as his bike crashed, and then he came back up. Meanwhile, Casey, consistent, calm, and collected, went on through. So, still all together. You got Casey trying to go on through. I think he's trying to force a mistake out of Homer. And it looked like he was trying to, you can see him smiling, didn't succeed with it. Allison is here, Chris is here, but the bot patrol is not too far back. Chris on the outside. I think he's just sitting there trying to get some shelter from the rest. So we've got 1 Velocity Vixen, you've got 2 Cognition, and you've got 3 Cycling Hub, and then commanding the bot patrol with his iron fist down here. Timothy, there seems to be some mutiny amongst the ranks here as the bot patrols have been left in the dust. Now, Temple Run is a different track as Homer goes down, Allison goes down, and with one swell swoop, both of Cognition riders who are in this front group have gone down. Can we bring that up on the replay once more? So coming through the corner, we go from the atrocity that is Timothy Tamont's bot patrol control to Cognition here. They come into the corner, and they're simply just going too quick. They hit the left side, then Allison tries to go right, and she hits Chris. So Homer once more slides out while Allison slides into Chris, and she and him will go down. So what I was about to say is that depending on the skill level of the event, it really changes the dynamic of Temple Run. Because for the longest time where Temple Run has been in the rotation, it's been a low skill event. Chris Pritchard goes down as well, and that looks like, oh, he almost put a block on Allison. That looks like it was also just him sliding on out and making a rookie mistake that he will quickly pick up on. And this is where, if you can iron out those mistakes, if you can make them better, that you'll really see massive improvements in the racing at the top. So 3-man group, Nigel, Quentin, and Casey take it up at the front. But when it is a low skill event, when it's got Uncrashable on, you don't really have to worry about the corner speeds. You can just ride it to your own. You can attack the ascents and attack the descents as well. You can really just dive bomb every corner. But you take for granted that these are technical descents. They're technical corners. You add in the power-ups, you add in a tailwind, and suddenly you have a Homer Thompson situation where he just slid right into the rocks. And this is where I know riders like Tim Fulford, they like to know all the corner speeds regardless of its low skill, medium skill, high skill. Same for Sebastian Kuhn. Like Sebastian knows all the corner speeds, he knows how far he can push it. But this is an interesting development. Ooh, Casey goes to the edge here, but Nigel with a 2-man cycling hub sandwich. He has rested his legs somewhat. If you bring down the scoreboard, it's still one undisputed leader at the top. It is Team Cycling Hub's Quinton Molyneux in first place. I mean, if he can go undefeated, if he can become one of the invincibles of just take omnium after omnium after omnium, and so far, I mean, nothing really looks to be stopping him. So it's impressive from Quinten, considering it is physical equalization. All these riders are on equal footing thanks to physical equalization. It comes down to your skill level, it comes down to your level of suffering, and with Quinten, perhaps dialing down the racing a tiny bit and focusing on the racing and thinking, right, instead of doing 2 races, doing 2 zones, which is tough, I'm going to try and do 1, and I'm going to really nail that one. And when you do that, you see massive improvements. So Allison has made it back to the front. She has wobbled her way like the duck to get back up here. So she's here. Nigel trying to put an attack on. Casey's going to do nothing again. Casey just shakes the hands up. He's like, Allison, you've got to come around. You've got to come around. But the one time Allison Kubota needs a rest, the one time she's worked hard, she finds herself on the one wheel, not willing to give her a helping hand. Chris is further back. Homer is further back. But now we have an interesting duel here. We've seen Timothy Tamont versus Quinten Molinez, where Quinten became victorious. Now we're seeing Nigel Doyle versus Quinten Molinez. These 2 riders, equally clever, equally stubborn. Those 2, they might have to be carted off the track once this is all done, as they're going to give it everything. You can see Nigel Doyle's laser focus on the screen. Quinten 172, Nigel 177. By the way, I did see you in the chat. Hey DJ, as always, thank you so much for tuning in and being part of the action. As Quinten on the wheel of Nigel. What do you do here if you're Nigel? I think you wait for Allison. I'm not sure if you're Nigel what you do, because if you go into this situation, so many have tried to beat Quinten. So many have tried to outsmart him, to outmaneuver him, to outpower him. But so far, nobody has had the right combination. No one has found the right key to crack the safe. Will Nigel Doyle be that guy? He could very well be, but what do you do? And this is why the racers, this is why CVRcade is an interesting esports platform, because you really got to figure it out. If you've got the mind for it, if you've got the strategy, that is awesome. As Castrop says, my heart rate is 48. What is that in equalized heart rate though, Peter? That's what we really want to know. Quinten has gone on to the attack. Nigel seems to be sitting up and he is waiting as Allison, Casey and Chris are coming back. This is a long race. It's 4 laps in total. You've got 3 laps left here. We got 2.5 laps left. Nigel sitting in. Go back, Casey. Very, very funny on stream. Whenever he's on, he's very animated. Now he goes to the front. So with his teammate up, Casey's going to engage in a bit of, you know, I'm not going to pace, guys. I'm just going to look on the front, and you have to be careful you don't get caught looking at the pinstripes, because Casey, I mean, it looks good to see, oh, Casey's on the front, but Quinten is further up, and now Chris comes on by. I think we might see Chris here try to attack. I think he might try to go on. Casey as well. I think Casey, the move we saw before, he's saying to Chris, come on, Chris, let's go. Let's get up to Quinten. Let's drop these 2. But Chris here, second place, 189. He's chucking away. He's catching up. Nigel's down here. Homer is... oh, Nigel goes down. Oh, bring that one up on the replay. I'm not sure who it is he just went into there. I think he hits into Casey. Oh, it's Allison. He slides into the wheel of Allison. His compadre, his pseudo teammate in this piece de resistance. He goes into her and he crashes down. Nigel will not be happy about that. But the one saving grace, he's about to be joined by the best or maybe joint best diesel engine out there. I mean, Homer Thompson has built Fort Strong, to say the least, and that is a survey by real people. As Homer Thompson, he's going to get to the front here, and if Nigel and him can work together, they may be able to go back to the front. If we look on the opposite side of the spectrum, Timothy Tamont, he's got the butts together here. He is commanding them. They are all in line here. And Kayla Laguna, further back, she missing out on a few butts. She looks to be in a world of pain here in her, as she's on her own. Do get a thumbs up. She's got about 2.5 laps left here It is fun though coming back into the streaming. So we had a bit of a break here over the holidays, and you get into the rhythm of streaming. K, L, T, E, and I'm sure the racers are the same way, because I spoke to a few racers today. There's some that are out with illness, there's some that have to recover. When you take a bit of a break and you come back in, sometimes your system gets a bit of a shock. It's like, oh, this rest is nice, and you're like, oh, I gotta do this again, and you get a bit ill. The same thing with commentating. Sometimes you're just in the flow, and then for some reason, 3 laps left was a tongue twister coming up. So fun fact for you. But Nigel slowly making his way back. It did cost him a power up, as he's now trying to get back in. He could use a teammate or two, but we're gonna see riders in zone L later on for his teammates. But Nigel is not one to give up. Casey does have elevated heart rate as he once again finds himself in front of Allison. So Allison seems to be glued onto the wheel of Casey, and Casey's not doing anything here. Oh, he opens the door for 2 teammates. Bring that one up on the replay. This could be the defining moment, as we saw him in the audio chat talking to them. Allison not coming around. He opens the door. 1 mouse goes through. 2 mouse goes through. And Chris and Quinton go on through. Casey smiling and laughing. And then he's on the team widget saying, go, go, guys. This is the move. This is the chance. By the way, Castrop's... Oh, Allison, no! And Casey with the goodbye sign. This is it. 3 riders on the front. Allison gets passed by Nigel. Do we have that one in the replay again to see what happened? As Allison comes into the corner, Casey on the right, Allison coming through. I think she's just going too quick into that again, just sliding through. Gets very unlucky, because I think the road there, it goes right, it goes left, it goes right, it goes left. And there's like a slither, there's like a tiny bit of like a stretch of road where your avatar will be thrown both ways. And if you don't start all the way to the right, when you get thrown both ways, you don't end in the right spot. But Nigel's getting back here. Despite crashing, he is coming back up. But what I was going to say is that Castrop has the comment of the day. Oh, Chris uses Uncrashable. I think he was trying to use wind that is back or weight lifted. But Peter Castrop in the chat says, CCC is infiltrating the other teams, but they just don't know it. Nothing could be more true. You can see Nigel with the thumbs up. This is what they're doing. If you can't beat them, you join them and you beat them from the inside. As we've seen Sebastian joining Cognition, Nigel joining Velocity Vixen. I think this leaves Thomas Tibbling. It leaves Peter Castrop and Ben Shuilong. What's going to happen to the rest of them? What are the plans for CCC? Will they start poaching from other teams, or will they go out and get other riders on the platform? As we've now got Casey, we've got Chris. Chris right now could not be on a better wheel, but Chris is also at 195, and so Chris is probably thinking, what are you doing to me right now, Casey? So it's great and all, but you're making me hurt. And so these two slowly but surely making their way back up to Quinton, because they don't want Nigel to get back in. They don't want Allison. And the king of the comeback, Homer Thompson, is only 20 seconds back from Quinton. You can see Quinton kind of breathing a bit heavily. He's at 182. We're halfway through the race, and now you've got to see it here. You gotta be difficult if you're Quinton, because on one side, you want to wait. You really want to sit up and you want to wait and you want to get back. Maybe we can get the Bot Patrol's take on what's going to happen now. Timothy, as a past member of Team Cycling Hub, you've got Quinton, Casey, Chris in the front. If you're Quinton, do you wait or do you just keep just going along?
Nah, you keep going. Nigel's way too close to Chris and Casey for comfort, so you just keep it going. Not too hard, just keep it steady, and they know what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing, so yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Timothy. I'll let you go back to controlling those ruthless bots as they are riding at a steady 345 pace further back down. Nigel, he was within touching distance, but the fuel may be running out here. Nigel might be in need of a pit stop. He was within, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and now it's going back out to 7, it's going back out to 8, and this is the work by Casey Shum, who now, on some of the toughest segments of this track, when the gradients go up to 3-4%, he's putting on the hurt. But not only Nigel Doyle, Chris is at 198, 199. This is like when you have a kite and you go out and it's blowing outside. You're like, this is fun, but suddenly the wind takes it and you're like, no, come back here. It's kind of what Chris is feeling. He's at 201 equalized heart. This kite is just getting bigger and bigger and the wind is getting stronger. Can Chris stay on? Because Casey and Quinton may be riding Chris out of the race, because we saw Timothy Timot blow up in the last race on Submerged Stadium. If Chris can't recover, it's going to be tough. But 3 riders on the front. We saw this on Tuesday. Cycling Hub got first, second, and third, I believe. And now they're on pace to do it again. I mean, they're just so strong. But joining Nigel Doyle is Allison Kubota and Homer Thompson. If they can get if they can get teamwork going, if they can start taking turns, we've got a 3-up team time trial on our hands. You have to say the advantage is in the favor of Quentin, Casey, and Chris, though, as they're teammates. They're on audio. Nigel's got to up the pace here. He's got to latch back onto the train, but that is much easier said than done here to get back in. The 2 blue riders, they're working together. Allison and Homer. Homer is the king of the comeback. We saw it in Zone T on Tuesday. We have seen it countless times on Summit Islands. You think 3 laps, first lap, he's way gone. Second lap, oh wait, Homer could do this. And third lap, you're like, come on, Homer, finish off the unimaginable. This could be another one of those, but 2 versus 3, even if it's Allison and Homer, the 2 best diesel engines in the game. You're going up against Casey Shum. You're going up against Quinton Molyneux, who arguably are the best minds when it comes to CVRcade World Cup race planning and strategizing. I mean, these guys, they'll be walking around at work. They'll be thinking, maybe I could do that. Maybe this strategy will work. Maybe this power up with this combination or this block, it can all work here. I love Castro just saying, you know what? In the next races, we should start counting from the 5th position here as Casey moves to the right, Chris comes to the front. It'll be interesting to see what Chris has to give. I mean, the chat is obviously loving it. You've got Biking Goose saying Chris can suffer all right. Peter is saying, go on, Chris, it's an impressive effort. And it very much is. He's got 1 more lap after this to go. But how much does he have left? The gap to Allison is 4 seconds. Homer and Allison are coming back. Team Cognition. They're into the headwind, but they feel the tailwind. The 4 kilometers an hour. Homer and Allison, can they pull it off? Magnificent racing. You've got teamwork. And so what they're doing is that they're taking a turn on the front, coming off, going back in. Taking a turn on the front, coming off, going back in. If you do that, you distribute the work. You keep the pace high. Homer, Allison, they're in it. The only real casualty right now is the newest member of Velocity Vixen. And boy oh boy does Nigel wish right now he had a shot of maple syrup or maple syrup cakes or Peeps or any other sort of sugar delivery from Team Velocity Vixen's team leaders, because he needs it. 4 seconds is the gap. Homer goes down again. Oh, Homer Thompson, over-eager, newfound power. And for the 3rd time on Temple Run, he decks it. Somebody get this man some stabilizers. So much potential, but just a few crashes short. And this once more opens the door for Nigel as he's in 5th. But Allison Kubota has gotten back on. But as she does, this is where the strategy of teammates come in. Casey already once has ridden Allison off the wheel. Now he's going to do it again. Quinton attacks. Casey goes to the front. But Casey's not interested in keeping the pace up. Allison sits on the wheel of Chris. This is going to be very, very tough. Next race, by the way, in the deciding race will be Country Rally. And we're seeing the 2nd place up for grabs. If we bring down the scoreboard, Casey and Allison, 121, 117, currently in the favor of Allison Kubota. So Casey is great on Country Rally, but maybe, who knows, any day, any place, you could have a poor performance. And so Casey needs to take all the points he can get as Allison comes on through, and Casey is going to accelerate because he wants to stay ahead. But looking further back, a man with a mission, Nigel Doyle, is coming back in. Sebastian says, go on, Allison. Biking Goose says, boss music starts playing. What is boss music? Is it like the Root Sandstorm? Is that, do you classify that as boss music? Let me know. as Homer using a wind at his back. We're coming back here to a very, very intense finale. The riders have worked for it. They have worked their butts off. Now they're in a situation where you've got to execute. Halfway through the race, it didn't look this likely to have a winning opportunity, but Quentin, he attacks again, but it's still there. Allison, 460 equalized watts here in the secondary position, and she's just going to do what she does so well. Chuck along, just ride hard. With Homer crashed further back, it's going to be difficult to get back for him. As a third time crashing, that is just 3 times too much when it comes to a race like Temple Run. Quentin is being brought back ever so slowly by Allison Kubota. I have a sneaky suspicion Casey is just going to run away with this. I think Casey has just been, keeping his powder dry. I think he knows it as well. I think Casey knows, you know what? Coming back, I haven't spent that much energy. I've been marking moves. It's going to come down to one big effort on the descent. When you get past the boulders, you get past the Heldon's Heel, I think it was named. Oh, it's all good. You got Bruce Springsteen as the boss music. Boss or boss gags? I'm not even sure, guys. We need some better music suggestions in the chat. We had Eye of the Tiger be the name of the song of choice for Homer Thompson last time. What other song suggestions do you have for a boss song? Let's see. Best song suggestion wins 10 Jesper points. So hit me up in the chat right now. Just search, why do I hear boss music? That is interesting. But Allison is riding hard on the front. 4 seconds is the gap. But Quentin, 189. We've got the side-by-side shot as well. That'd be interesting to see because Quentin just spinning away. He is fighting to get back up. Nigel on the other side of this, just sitting on, enjoying the rest of Chris. Now, Chris is a good sprint. Like, Chris is a sprinter. He's a track sprinter who's done very well at the Commonwealth Games. He came second at his British Masters Nationals. Can he translate that onto CVRcade? That is the big question. We've yet to see that. Nigel starting to feel the burn. 3 kilometers left. Halfway through the climb. It is shaking up now. Allison is on a mission. She wants to try and topple this... I'm not even sure if it's a dictatorship by Quentin Molyneux on the front as he's winning everything by his demand. He's in a good position. He's got the teammates. He's got the legs. As we see... DK Mansuni saying Volbeat, Warriors Call. Well, there you go, everybody. Winner by default. Mentions a Danish band who have also been seen in real life. Cannot compete with that. Volbeat, still counting. Warriors Call. You know what? Out. That's it. Mic drop. DK Mansuni. Not only did he subscribe to the channel on Tuesday, also comes up with the single best song suggestion. So, GG, no re. But Quentin Molyneux, here he goes. Weight lifted, wind at his back. Last bit of the climb here. Getting over the top. Now he's got to sustain it. 6 seconds is the gap. He is fighting. He's at 192. They're not making this easy for him. He's going to take a third potential victory here. Could Quentin do the 4-up win race? Could he win every single race here? Well, Casey says, you know what? We can't have that. He's my teammate, but I'm going to go on the attack. So 196 equalized heart rate. He's been sitting on. We look over the shoulder. There's no Allison. There's no Chris. There's no Nigel. Nigel uses his wind at his back as well. So Nigel just... Oh, this is such a tough place to be. You feel like you were there. You've worked so hard, but you just cannot get onto the wheel of the 2 riders in front of you. So 2 kilometers left. New Velocity Vixen member out to try and prove himself to the rest of the team that they made a good decision. Somewhere Jeff Rooney is watching right now, and he's saying, come on, Nigel, you can do it. Get on back. Allison and Chris. Chris is at 202 equalized heart rate. He's feeling it. He's getting up here. He is struggling just to hold on to Allison. And remember, there's a wind. The wind is changing where the draft is from. And so Chris may not always be getting the optimal draft percentage. He's not moving lanes. And so just hanging on. He's just latching his anchor and hoping the best. But looking over the shoulder, guess who is back? Back again. Nigel Doyle, tell a friend, as he is on the wheel. He's going to try and come over the top. He's already used a wind at his back. Allison gets rid of Chris. Chris has lost touch. Allison is onto the attack. Chris tries to stop Nigel, but Nigel, he's going to have none of it. And now he's going on to the attack. Meanwhile, Quentin has got a 6-second gap here as... I like how Castro is like, they steal our riders and now they steal my song. Peter Castrup, it is tough times, my friend. It is tough times. Don't forget that I think it's like Blue Monday is coming up as well. So, it will get better, but first it's going to get worse. Quentin comes through. Casey, very, very impressive second place here from Casey. Now, 10 minutes time, we've got Zone L happening, but we've also got, like, I think it's 3 laps of Country Rally. So there's a race in between, but they're not going to get much rest if they're doing both races. Quentin looks set to be winning. Casey's got to duke it out with Allison, Nigel, and Chris. Chris was at 200. He is now going out the back, but somewhat to be expected. He's been on the limit. His teammates have been just dragging him. He's been fighting to stay. Impressive effort. Oh, Allison just on the limit there. Nigel versus Allison. 200 meters remain as we'll see Quentin Molyneux cross the finish here. As he comes through to the edge. Pops his uncrashable. That's his celebration emoji. He doesn't need to do it. 3 for 3. And we could see Quentin Molyneux take every single one. Casey will get second. Further down, Nigel Allison, who is going to take third spot here. A very important point. But at the end of the day, Allison Kubota, tip our hat, Nigel, well done. Chris Pritchard will cross eventually here in 5th as he's just dragging himself to the finish line. Homer Thompson, Timothy Tamont with the butts further down as well as you've got Kale Laguna. But that's it for 4 laps of Temple Run this time around. We've got more racing coming up in Zone L as we're going to see more. Truth XXX is in the chat. Now, Truth, you are my favorite commentator on YouTube. I mean, you just tell the truth every time. You are always there on the talk show. Love to see you in the chat as well. Level, is that 16? I think it is. But Quentin, 3 for 3. Now, as far as I'm aware, I think it's only Peter Castrup, Kayla Laguna, and Ben Shuilong that's won every single race to date. Tim Fulford may have done it, but I kind of feel like he may not. Well, we'll go and hear from Quentin, who is on the seat to becoming one of the few people who've won all 4 races. Quentin, how badly do you want that 4th one now?
I don't want to say how bad I want it because I'll flunk it. I'll just throw it away in the last corner like I usually do. So I'm not going to say anything, but it would be nice to win the 4th race.
Well, good luck with that. Let's hear from your teammate. Casey, if Quentin doesn't want to say it, you can say it for him. Casey, how badly do you think Quentin wants to take that 4th win?
Oh, he wants it, and he can do it. No doubt about it. He's feeling good. I'm trying to conserve today, just having some fun. So, yeah, I'll ride his wheel and play blocker for him. I mean, nothing different than what I've been doing all day.
I was going to say, I mean, that's been your MO. How much fun has it been just being that obstruder?
It is fun, you know. I'm trying not to be blatant. I'm trying to play it more like a normal bike race where if they're going to ride my wheel and my teammates in front of me, I'll just soft pedal a little bit and have some fun. I was hoping to keep Chris attached there, but he was suffering a little bit. So,
did you have Chris on audio for that race?
I don't have him on audio. So sorry, Chris, if you're swearing at me or whatever. You probably are, but I was pushing to the limit to where Chris could barely hold on, but tried to pull Quentin back in that last race. But it was definitely stretching the rubber band, I could tell.
Oh, man, he was at 200 for like half of the race. I can only imagine the words he had for you and Quentin. But it looked like you all had fun. Good luck in this next race, Casey. On the other end, Nigel, you were putting up the fight. You were there. Then you crashed. You were so good. You were just proving yourself, and then you crashed.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm a bit out of practice. I haven't been doing much on Cade. It just shows you, you get match fit by riding on it all the time. And then I fat fingered the uncrashable when I should have saved it for the end, like Allison did. To go around that last corner at full speed.
Well, you live and you learn, Nigel. That's part of the CVRcade world. Last race here before we see you again, Zone T. Are we going to see a comeback arc here from you on this last one?
Oh, I'm not sure. That last race took a lot out of me. Coming back, I was sweating.
I'll let you recover. I'll let you rest up. I know, speaking to me, wasting valuable oxygen. We do appreciate it every time. Now, Tim, by the way, in the chat did say he's won. So I think there's 4 people. I think it's Kayla, I think it's Peter, it's Ben, and it's Tim who's won every single race of an Omnium. And if Quinton wins this, he would add his name to that list, becoming Fire Riders. It's not an easy task because there's skill, there's fatigue, there's like stamina, there is, making sure everything is functional. It'll be fun to see how it goes. Now, Chris, in the last race, ride of the day so far from him. I've just been so impressed with what we saw. Can he bring it here? Timothy, you'd expect would try and do something here. I mean, for a rider trying to build up stamina, staying with the bot patrol, Pink Panthers and everything, may not be the case. Nigel with a racer's edge out of the gun. It's 3 laps of country rally. You've got 1 uncrashable and 1 racer's edge. Timothy goes down. The riders, if they want to do both races, there's Zone L beginning after this in 5 minutes time. But Nigel, uncrashable, onto the attack. We've seen this before. This is how you get out to an early lead and you sustain it. Impressive to see Chris up here as well in 3rd. He's got uncrashable. He's on the wheel of Casey. Can he get around here the hay bales? He bumps into Casey. So the speed that he gained from the uncrashable gets subtracted when he hits into the back of Casey like that. So not optimal usage, but close enough. Casey in 2nd place. But the man that we're all looking for, the rider everyone's eyes are on, is Quinton, who's in 4th. He didn't want to say it, because he didn't want to jinx it, but I think he knows how much he wants this one. That bit of fame, you want to be on that wall. You want to be out there here, as now he comes on through. He's in 2nd spot. Only Nigel Doyle is here, ready to pop the balloons. He's ready to, stop the record player. He's got that domestic noise complaint that he's attending to, named Quinton Mullinace, as he's trying to put a stopper here on the festive mood, as he's about to win 4 for 4. But it's Nigel, it's Quinton, it's Casey. Nigel has a little controller that he usually plays with that gives him a bit of an advantage on tracks like this, because on his handlebar he can have everything he needs. The gearing, the controls to go left and right, and the power-ups. Now Casey with a racer's edge, Chris with a racer's edge. Quinton still has all his power-ups. Casey, as we can see here on the left, he comes on through. I think he's going to try and play a bit of interference on the front. May as well just want to win this one outright as well. Have not considered that possibility. As Casey, 197 equalized heart rate. Uncrashable, goes on to the attack. Barney the Barn Door says hello, as now he is going. Nils in the chat says, going to get ready for L. See ya. We'll see you in a minute here, as he'll be ready coming in later on for Zone L, which starts in 3 minutes time. Nigel, 2nd. Quinton, 3rd here, as you got Chris in 4th, Allison 5th, Homer 6th, and Timothy 7th, Kayla in 8th. And so with 1.8 kilometers remain, for bringing down the scoreboard and how it's affecting things, Casey has the potential to actually win the overall. That is outrageous, considering Quinton has won every single stage so far. But the way that the scoring multiplier just lays out is that if Casey wins this and Quinton comes 5th or like 6th, I think Casey may win the overall, but I doubt seeing Quinton fall that far down. He now passes Nigel. That gives him a bit of confidence, as he's got an ally in the front and he's left Nigel. He still has his racer's edge. He still has his uncrashable, so he can time his attack through the corner here to go onto the attack as Nigel goes down. Velocity Vixen member, I think he just slides into Chris Pritchard. As he falls down, Allison goes by, Chris goes by. There's no way Casey makes this. Oh, never mind, Casey. Quinton comes on through. See the smile on Casey's face as Quinton goes right on through, and Quinton on pace here to take 4 for 4 in Zone K, winning every single race, taking maximum points, writing his name. All he's got to do is not mess this up. He's got 900 meters to finish this off, and that is all it's gonna be. Mutt KG asks, is Quinton gonna get the sweep? Well, it sure looks that way currently out on track. I think there's only a minute. I think we may actually miss the start of the next race, which is Dark Matter Tech. So I think Zone L have started, but as the races overlap and we're catching the finish of this. So fortunately, it looks like we may miss it, but we'll be back. We'll watch the rest. We'll catch a Submerged Stadium, Temple Run, and Country Rally, as they should be ready. It means we get a bit of a chance to talk to some of the riders, and you're watching history. Quinton Molinez sweeping every single event to take the top spot here. Only done by a select few. Casey second, Casey and Allison. Whoever finishes ahead of these two will take second place on the podium. Casey has got a 3.5 point lead, Allison chasing back, but with 200 meters remaining, I think Casey feels quite comfortable about his position. But saying that, here comes Allison with a razor's edge and uncrashable. Casey has used his, trying to put a block on. Can Allison come on through? She will. Oh, she comes on through. She goes to the right here, and we'll go speak to Quinton in a second because he's just crossed the finish line. He wins, but Allison is gonna take second place ahead of Casey. So excellent display there by Allison. I thought Casey had that one cover up, but no. Chris will be fourth with Nigel in fifth, Homer sixth, Kayla seventh. I think Timothy may have left ready to race the next race, so we'll get his take from the racing that's happening. But as we run the highlights, as we run the finish, let's get a word from, ladies and gentlemen, your champion of the day here in Zone K, undisputed, winning every single race. Quinton, your name is on the wall. You know you didn't want to say it, but now you can. How sweet was that?
Oh, that was very sweet. I have to thank Casey for it, because I think he had a gap that was going to be big enough to keep me off, but thankfully it was a teammate and he let me go past him. But it was very nerve-wracking, to be honest. I had a few moments where I was actually more nervous than I was in the finale on CVRcade World Cup. So.
Really?
Yeah. It's hard to get to me. The perfect scoreboard was an illusion until now. So yeah.
Well,
great.
what's the next thing? You've won the greatest prize in all of CVRcade, winning the CVRcade World Cup Grand Finale, and now you've done the clean sweep. What's next?
Well, Ineos just called with a contract. I'm gonna go to Tour de France and show him. No, I'll just have more fun and get stronger and fitter.
That is the spirit. Now, Quinton, good to see you on here. That is 3 for 3. It's like, you know how you watch Premier League, you're watching Liverpool, they're on this streak, people saying, are they going to lose? I mean, the same thing is going to happen to you. I mean, is this something you may be looking into, continuing, winning and winning and winning?
I don't know. Maybe because I'm going to do 2 races a week, I might be hungry enough to keep it in mind. But I just come in every night fresh and with a clean memory. I don't think about the streak that is going on. So
don't worry, we'll think about it for you and we'll mention it every single time as it's alive. Quinton, congratulations. Let's hear from Nigel there at the end, because I think Nigel might have left, which is fine. We can get another word. So Zone L is currently going on and it started, but since the races overlapped, we are not quite able to make it into the first race, which is Dark Matter Tech, which is a low skill event. But we do have our road correspondent. He has just left Team Cycling Hub. He's still in the stream. Timothy Tamont, could you give us an update?
100 meters left!
Well, you better work hard. Who won, Timothy?
Looks like Beth did before Ryan. Let me get the scoreboard up. Yeah, Beth won before Nils and Ryan. Very close sprint. I got 4th there, Vibeke 5th, and Thomas got 6th.
Well, thank you, Timothy. It's a good thing we do have Beth in the chat. Beth, it's lucky I didn't go to you for that one with 100 meters to go.
I got the audio sorted. That's the good news.
Oh.
So.
Can you hear me, Beth? Oh, never mind. We'll go back. So this has just been the end of Zone K. I think if we look up, I think we may still have Casey in here, as he might be still in here. I don't think he is. Nope, he has gone out, which is fine. Now, this is now, as we cut to the end of the highlights, now they're running very slowly. We're getting ready for Submerged Stadium, which is next. We're going to see Nils Heldens, we're going to see Beth York, Ryan Goldenberg, we're going to see more of Timothy Tamont. I think Vibeke Bertram is also in here getting ready to do the racing. And so Thomas Tippling is back as well. The Swedish Viking from Team CCC. The dwindling Team CCC, may I add. So still got a rider representing them today, which is great. It's good to see Thomas is back in. Nils, that last race came second. We didn't quite get to see it with our own eyes, but describe the race from your point of view.
Yeah, it was just a normal no-skill race, actually, until Ryan went with 400 meters to go. And then I just went to the outside lane and loaded up a comeback kit and just blasted through it. And in the final corner, I think I got 4 people and eventually finished a tenth of a second behind Ryan. So quite fun.
Yeah, sounds like it. Thank you, Nils. Now, I see Casey in the chat is saying, is Cycling Hub going to sweep 2 zones? Go, Nils. How do you reply to that?
I will see. I've been up since 5. Went to uni the whole day, and I ate Mackie and I ate at McDonald's before this. So probably gonna be not the ideal way to prepare for a race, but we'll see.
That is the pre-race choice of champions, though, you know. Nils Heldens, thank you very much for being in the racing today. We'll see if Cycling can make it to 4-2. Now, we tried going to a Velocity Vixen member. We'll go to another one of my personal favorites, Ryan Goldenberg. It has nothing to do with Ryan sending us sweets over Christmas, I swear. But Ryan, Nigel Doyle, that is new.
Yeah, we're overjoyed to have Nigel on the team. You know, somebody who can actually dance on stream is good for the team. So welcome, Nigel. I don't know if he's still watching. I know he was racing last zone. I don't think he's around for this one, but yeah, nice to see some more orange and purple, orange and black, however it shows up in the game.
Is it world domination that Velocity Vixen is aiming for? Because you added Jeff, you added Carl, you added Joyce, now you're adding Nigel. Are you not going to stop before you consume the whole world?
But we're going to dominate in something, whether it's racing, dancing, sweets, you know, gift giving. We'll dominate in something, I promise.
That's the spirit. Good luck here, Ryan, as Submerged Stadium is coming up. Now, this is totally different. We've got new racers on the screen. We've got Beth York, who you just saw. She won the low-skill event. So, unfortunately, Beth winning it, we didn't quite catch it here. So, that's poor form by us, Beth. I do apologize. We got Allison, who's back for more. You've seen Nils Heldens. I think if Vibeke is in the stream, it doesn't look like she is quite yet. Timothy Tamont is back for more here. We had him as a roaming reporter with 100 meters to go. It is just like when there's a storm outside and you send your meteorologist out in the field and he's like, it's very windy. Well, thank you, Timothy, for the very accurate depiction of the racing. But here goes, Submerged Stadium. Second race of the day here in Zone L. These are racers that couldn't quite make it to Zone K, but they want to race this one. Vibeke on the front, Nils in second place. Casey, teammate of Nils, thinks Nils has got this one. He's been there and thereabout, but he's always played somewhat second fiddle to Quinton, to Tim. He's been the nearly man. He was the surprise in the bracketed session tournament where he got to the finale and he performed really well. It could have been more. Fortunately, I think he had some technical difficulties. Now, just to satisfy, as Peter Kastrup is in the chat, let's just show what's remaining of the CCC colors. Here you go, on the screen, the yellow bumblebees. They're still alive, they're still here, they're dwindling in strength, but perhaps there's going to be the resurgence because CCC had the rise and then they've seen the fall, but after every... Oh, Thomas tippling as he goes down. Oh, crashes down. Beth Vibeke on the front, joined by Niels Heldens and Timothy Tamont. Allison and Homer just off the back. Allison and Homer have been executing great teamwork here as Timothy goes on to the attack. This is going to be a really good zone. I think this will give some excellent racing as Vibeke on the right. Timothy is in a world of trouble here. Can he get away? Oh, Vibeke doesn't, but Timothy at the end does bring that one up on the replay once more. So you can just see that rock is coming up, that obstacle in the road that if you hit, you will crash. Vibeke on the left. Niels forcing out a mistake. Beth letting Timothy Tamont on through. Bit of charity here on a Thursday evening from Beth York to Timothy Tamont. But this now changes the things. Further back, you can now see that Homer and Allison, again, this is what they do. They sit together and they work. I think in the next race after this, coming to Temple Run, they're going to be so tough to beat. But they're going to have to make sure to limit their losses in this race when you think about the overall Omnium. Now, last time on Submerged Stadium, Timothy Tamont faded. He faded heavily. He was there. He was hanging on to Quinton. He was hanging on. And then he let go. He was there with Allison as well. Now we're seeing more of the same. Timothy Tamont just unable to stay with the front group once having made that initial selection, not drafting, not sitting on the wheel, but the opposite side of the spectrum. Beth York here executing well. On Tuesday, it was Beth, it was Kayla. They were doing so well on the front. They're working together. Now it's Beth and Niels. 5 kilometers remaining. Niels is at 194. You heard Niels before be somewhat cautious about his own chances today. Been up since the early mornings. Had a bit of McDonald's. Wonder if it's a Big Mac, if it's a hamburger, cheeseburger, maybe some nuggets, chicken select. See, now it's just making everybody hungry. See, Matt KG, I don't mean to bring up food every time. This time it was Niels. Blame Niels, everybody. Spitfire in the chat if you want to attack somebody. But this is good strategy from Niels. He's gonna try and make Beth hurt. He doesn't want Beth just to sit in. And Niels comes in with fresh legs. So does Beth. And they're gonna have a bit of a competition here to see who can last the longest. Niels is not gonna make this easy. Heart rate is up. And Niels knows the... I just saw the chat. I saw CVR World Cup say... Here, Jesper will race on Saturday in Sony. This is 4 a.m. PST, if anyone wants to watch and cheer for our very own Jesper. Now, I'll let this be known. This is my first time back, so the game will treat me as a CVRcade cadet. So I will have one very, very good race, and then I will struggle. But I will make that one very good race fun for you guys to watch, as better be there. But you can see Beth just sitting on the wheel. Good race here. Good first race of Zone L. I think this is going to shape up to be a good one. Allison and Homer, 3rd and 4th. They're still working on through here as they know what they've got to do. They've already raced one Omnium. Allison came 2nd, so she knows what to do. There's no Quinton Molyneux here, so she may be looking to take that next step up. Homer has already won one zone, Zone T, on Tuesday. Maybe they want to take a prime time zone, European time, here in Zone L. But on the front, Beth and Niels are working together somewhat as Niels goes to the front. I mean, it's almost like they're not working together, but the way that the race is unfolding, they're keeping Homer and Allison at bay. Timothy has joined those as well, so he may be looking. Oh, Beth, too worried about hitting that bit of rock in the road, so she takes the long way around. That opens a bit of a gap to Niels. She loses the draft, she loses the momentum, and you look at the speed. 2 kilometers an hour is the difference. Niels has got that advantage, and that comes down to just one mistake, one decision. Choosing to go all the way to the right, you lose the draft, you lose 2 kilometers an hour, you've got to burn, what, a quarter of a match, half a match? So that's what we see Beth here, side by side. The two riders, both iron focus on the screen. I mean, that laser focus could cut through glass. Further down, you've got Timothy Tamont, you've got Allison, you've got Homer. As now Allison has taken a page out of Casey Shum's book. She's gone to page 77 and she's, oh, there it is. Slowly ride the competition off your wheel as a teammate goes off the front. Homer accelerating. Allison opting to be there. Somewhere around, Casey Shum is shedding a tear. He's like, I'm so proud. Allison taught her well as Timothy just hanging on. But Niels is on the front here. As you can see, Quinton saying, go on, Niels. You got Casey saying, safe gap now. Set it up for a win. Good to see. DK Mansuni, by the way. It's great to have you in the chat. Awesome to see. Niels attacks. Vibeke crashed early. Thomas Tibbling is in here. Good result. Ryan Goldenberg has taken over the reins of Timothy Tamont. So from one bot patrol to another, Ryan Goldenberg is in here. But there's one Velocity Vixen on the back and it's another on the front here. As they go, Casey says, Allison had first row seats to this in the last race. Well, she's picked up a thing or two. As Beth, Nils, they slide to the right. They just overlap wheels, but the speed differential wasn't big enough to go down. Beth puts in a bit of a move, a bit of a jab over the top. In the chat right now, we have Quinton, we have Goose, we have Casey, we have Castro, we have DK Mansuni, CVR World Cup, KG. Who do you think is going to win this? Is it Beth? Is it Nils? Is it somebody from that trio further back down? We've got 1.5 kilometers left here. I want you to put a name in the chat that you think is going to take it. Beth and Nils, they've been here before. Now, Beth won the first ever race on this track. And I think Jennifer took the second race on this track, or was it Kayla? I think that was the day where all females won every single race on this track here. As Kastrup says, let's get the Dutch anthem in the stream. I'm not too well versed in that to sing it for you, so we'll stick to the Danish anthem if a Dane ever wins. But you got Goose saying Nils every time. DK Mansuni says go Beth. Well, it's crunch time. Nils 193, Beth 193. They're identical. We both know they can each suffer to their own, and there's one lap remaining here between the two of them. Who is going to come out on top? Will it be Velocity Vixen's team leader, Beth York, who just, you know, she's the glitter queen, she fights on through, she's got that iron will, or will it be the, is it the Tempest? It's the Tempest, Nils Heldens of Team Cycling Up, and Beth goes down, and Nils with the wave, bring up the replay. That one mistake, we've come this far. And Beth York, when it comes to it, crumbles under the pressure. She slides on through. Nils forces that mistake. Nils forces the mistake. That one he learned from Quinton. Quinton tried to do that to Alison Kubota in the last race. But this race, it comes up huge. Oh, you got Tayfield saying, go Beth. Well, the timing on that one could not possibly be worse. As Quinton says, you should have seen that one coming. Yes, yep, that is good racing. Nils Heldens, just that was, you could see from the last zone, Quinton attempted to do it on Allison. Nils does it here on Beth. And I mean, that may have saved Nils' chances because Beth looks like she was fresh. She was feeling it. She was in there. And now Nils just has to finish it off. Now, next up here is going to be good. Next up race is Temple Run 4 laps. Get ready for Alison Kubota and Homer Thompson to tear some legs off. I think at least they'll try if they've got anything left. But Sebastian Vettel here, Nils Heldens with the victory. Congratulations. Beth York, second place. Wins the first race, comes second here. That puts her 4 points down in the overall. Out but not over here. She'll be wanting more in the next race. Allison and Homer. It's interesting to see who crosses the line first here. So Homer will cross first and Allison will cross second. That means Homer is most likely going to be their chosen champion to go on through. Timothy Tamont will be fourth here. He's got the Pink Panther outfit. He will come fourth this time around. Vibeke fifth, Thomas sixth, Ryan seventh. And now we get ready for Temple Run. It's going to be good to watch the racing there because 4 laps, it can be hard, it can be brutal, but it can also be very exciting because you have these different dynamics happening over a longer race. You've got to think about your teammates, you've got to think about the pack dynamics, you've got to think about this is a long move. Is he going to stick? Is it going to come back together? So it's a game of Jeopardy, and you've got to figure out when is the right move to double down and risk everything, and when the move is just to be cautious. So good racing here. I can see the chat is picking up here. So good to see the chat is pretty lively for 23 viewers. Thank you very much for watching in here. But now Temple Run's coming up. Niels Heldens, I know you said you were hesitant. I know you were there. You made Beth crash, right? You forced that mistake out. Was that something you practiced before with Quinton, or was that just instinctual?
Instinctual, but obviously practice as well with Quinton, Tim, and Casey. So yeah, but this was kind of payback for the first time Beth won on Submerged Stadium because she made me crash. So it has come full circle. It was a good race by Beth as well. I was hoping she'd pull a bit more, but obviously she had done a zone previous to this, so can't really blame her for that.
Well, it sounds like we need a rubber match. It's 1-1. Whenever next time Submerged Stadium comes up, I want to see, the trilogy come to an end. Nils, good racing. If we've got Beth, I know we couldn't speak to Beth before, but I think she may be back here. Beth, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, that was heartbreak, but Nils did say that was payback.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was watching the corner thinking like, okay, if I slide out, so I did throttle back on the speed, but it just wasn't enough. I knew I was in that pinned position that if I slid out, I'd be taking myself out, and I just didn't ease off enough. But you can tell he does not have does not suffer from short-term memory loss. In fact, he's all dialed in, so that's awesome. But I knew with the gap to third, the two of us really didn't have to duke it out. So I was kind of like, we should just work together. And when that happened, I was like, well, I'll dump my power up, see if I can make up any time, and if I can't, I'll just hold second. And but great racing. I always love to be in the field with Niels, and 1-1.
1-1 rubber match coming up. Good luck here in the next race. Let's get the final words from somebody who was there, and then Timothy, what's the kryptonite? You were there, and then you just can't stay. What's happened? What happens when you get there?
The legs just say, nah, we're not gonna do this for you. No, we're okay then, I guess. I'm really tired. Just going through this. We'll see. It's another bot patrol for me here, and then we'll see what we can do on the next race.
Well, I'm excited to see which of you and Ryan will be the better bot patroller. So let the duel commence and let the best rider succeed at the end. I'll be expecting iron whips out on the track. Thank you, Timothy. Now, who can stop Homer Thompson? Who can stop Alison Kubota? Because in the last race, what they did to come back is just fantastical. Like Casey, Chris, Quinton, well-oiled machine. It was 3 versus 2 with Nigel. Just be like, oh guys, gotta come back here. But now they gotta go again. I think they're gonna make this very, very tough on the rest. And the keys to the game is, can Homer Thompson stay upright? Crashed 3 times last time they were on Temple Run. Can he keep it to maximum of 1? Probably a 1 with uncrashable on this. You got to find your way on through. But here we go. Beth York, Niels Heldens, Alison Kubota, Vibeke Bertram, and Homer Thompson here on the front here as they're trying to break away early on. I mean, this is going to be a fascinating display because this race, again, doesn't have that many riders in it, but it does not really matter with the physics of the game, with the intensity of the simulation of how close it is to real-life racing. If not 1-to-1, it's with this many races, it's just like a group ride outside where if you're racing the CVRcade World Cup, you've got a lot of money on the line. But if not, I mean, you've got all this pride, you've got all this, you want to beat the guy ahead of you as Beth is trying to reach for the keyboard, maybe changing a camera position. Thomas Tibbling, CCC, it's been a while, he's back in. It's good to see Thomas, the Swedish Viking, but he's just hanging off. This is where Peter Kastrup, get on the bicycle, well, get on the keyboard, get in. Help out Thomas. Give him somebody to draft. Give him somebody. Throw out the bungee cord and just slowly reel him back up there. It's going to be tough for him. Vibeke is sitting on the back here, so Velocity Vixen has a teammate. Homer Thompson is here. Allison Kubota in the second place. But leading the squad is Niels Heldens. How do you play this? How do you play this? And I find myself asking that same question from Zone K earlier, this time with even more emphasis on how. Because you've got Niels, who is the lone Cycling Hub rider in this race. Only Cycling Hub member. He's currently fighting on the front. He is just riding along. As Crucial Ball says, Saturday, I'll cheer, or will cheer for Jesper. Well, thank you very much. I will appreciate that. But remember, when you first get on the platform, you're Arcade Cadet. It's been a very long time since I raced. So, oh, he says to crash. Never mind. Somebody get the hook. Get Crucial Ball out of here. Let's go. There's the door, my friend. But Niels on the front. He's doing a lot of the suffering here, but against these riders, is this the right move? Is this the right strategy? Allison, Homer, Beth to some degree, they can just suffer and suffer and suffer at a consistent rate. If we compare what Beth is currently looking like here in third position, she's talking to Vibeke, they're on the audio chat. Ryan further down as well, I am sure that he is also involved in the chatting. I see CVR World Cup saying, I bet Jesper won't crash at all. That is very, very kind of you. We'll see if that works or not. If that may just be a jinx, I think, CVR World Cup. I think that's the jinxes of jinx. Now, Niels goes to the right here. He's hoping that somebody is going to take it up, and Allison is doing it. So 2 Cognition riders, 2 Velocity Vixen riders. And now Allison, that's her turn done. She roads off the front now. Beth comes on through here with Vibeke on the back, so she has done a quick turn. She goes to the right. Nobody is going to want to do a turn here on the front, and that's why Homer Thompson attacks. Homer has gone on to the attack. He's feeling the unrest. He's feeling that, you know, the corporation, the standstill is kind of coming to an end. They're standing there in their Mexican standoff, and now you can hear the good, the bad, the ugly soundtrack coming on there already, and he's like, okay, time to go. And the only one matching it is Vibeke Bertram. Beth now, Niels, Allison, what do they do? Because Niels kind of has to do something to chase it down. Beth is here. Allison 3 seconds off the back, further down. So we'll see what's going to happen to Allison, as I think she's just going to fight on back. But in the second zone, in the second set of races, what you do end up seeing sometimes is people like Timothy, like Thomas Tibbling, riding the bot patrol. The bot in the second set of races, they get very close. Like, you could stick with the bots for a long time, and then you can attack over the top. It does look like Timothy didn't quite get that memo, as he's getting off the back here. He is struggling, he's blowing, he is done here, as he is in his second set of races here today. Meanwhile, on the front, all back together. DK Mansuni says, if Jesper gets true low skill without crashing, if he gets through low skill without crashing, then it's a success. Oh, DK Mansuni. I mean, that is... It's true, but yeah. Crucial Ball says, CVR World Cup, will you race later? I hope Vanessa will. I love seeing Vanessa race. I would love to see Vanessa on the stream, so can we make that happen? I want to see Executive Commissioner of all CVRcade World Cup, Rene Valadez, on one side of the split screen, and I want to see lovely and helper of the community and everything that's good, Vanessa Murahan, on the other side. Those two forces on the stream together, I think we're going to have like 100,000 viewers. 100,000 viewers all in the chat. You'd have Team Renee, Team Vanessa. It would spark a riot. I think it'd be too much good for the stream maybe to handle. I think you might see the energy just go through the roof. So maybe we hold off to the right moment, but I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you want to see it as well. Leave a GG emoji or... Oh no! Vibeke goes down! Bring that one up on the replay again, as I was too busy with the GG emojis. Vibeke on the left here, so keep an eye on her. She's just ahead of Niels. She accelerates in the corner, so she's accelerating, and because she's accelerating, she crashes. Everybody else calm, collected, on their limits, but they know what they can push it to. I'm very impressed by Team Cycling Hub and their vast knowledge of the tracks. See, to know every track corner, to know every corner to push it to the limit. And to know what Nils did in the last race on Submerged Stadium is impressive, because not only do you gotta have the mind to know that that specific moment, that thing is gonna occur, but you're doing it under severe pressure, severe fatigue as well here. So we'll see how this goes and how it plays out. But Allison still on the front here. She's been on the front for half a lap now, and she's gonna slowly move on. Homer looks to have just rested the legs. I did know that Homer last Tuesday started getting cramps. So I can just imagine Homer standing there with his legs going, oh, make it stop, then going back on, and then Homer goes down. How does that happen? Before the corner, Homer Thompson goes down. So dealing with the cramps, that is one crash. One crash to the tally. That is the maximum you get here, as he will get back on the wheel of Vibeke Bertram to try and get back to the top here. So unfortunately for Allison, she did miss the first race, and so did Homer. So both Homer and Allison start with a deficit. But looking at it, Allison is not too far back. The fight for the overall looks to be between Niels Heldens and Beth York, and both of them know it here. So DK Mansuni says, love how you got better to pay attention to chat without losing sight of the race. Now, DK, that's not entirely true, because I just missed Homer Thompson's crash. So deduct 10 points out of the tally, as we're going to take that back, DK Mansuni. We can't all be praises here, as the CVR World Cup says. Jesper is the master of multitasking. As you say that, I see my executive producer, Victor Lundqvist, shaking his head ferociously. I mean, his head may even come off. So, some disagreement here in the booth, but thank you very much. Beth versus Nils for the overall. How does this play out? Because Allison is just chugging along. We've got 4 laps. I think the bot patrol could very well come back. Thomas Tibbling, he's further down. He's riding. These 4 riders, there's no Homer Thompson now. He's going to have to get back in. So, Vibeke, Beth, I mean, this is where you pay good money for a sports director. You pay really good money to have someone like Frank Garcia in your ear saying, this is what you do. Or Tim Fulford or Mo TP Kelly to go, right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been in this position before. It's almost like you're getting ready, you're standing there in school, and they're like, okay, let's go. So, Vibeke, this is your job. Beth, this is your job. You've got to execute this at this moment. Like, that really, it gives you so much calmness to have somebody just telling you what to do, when to do it, when you're on your limit. Because let's not forget, Homer is at 185, Beth is at 189, Nils is at 189 heart rate. So you are blowing out your guts, and then at the same time, your brain is solving the most intricate Sudoku puzzle. And I can't even solve a Sudoku puzzle when I'm not racing a bicycle. And so to have to do that, it requires assistance. And that's why some of the best teams, they have a designated leader or a shot caller. Somebody who just says kind of the right things at the right time and the right sequence. That's something that... Oh, Beth just letting the gap open here to Allison a tiny bit. It's a slight bit of a blogged rocket there, but that's why you gotta have a shot caller to call the right moments. DK Mansuni says, I said you got better, Jesper. I didn't say you mastered it yet. Oh, thank you. Way to give a compliment and then take it back. May as well pull out my soul while you're at it. Why stop there? Thank you, DK. As Beth, second place. Allison... I wonder if Allison ever comes off, but she's clearly at the lowest overall heart rate of everybody. She's at 165. She's just riding her tempo, her zone 2, her zone 1, having a cup of coffee. She's getting ready. Meanwhile, Beth is at 189, 191. Nils is at 194 here as well. It was Kastrup earlier who said, I've never seen Nils sweat so much before, and you can see the sweat glowed off his forehead, so... It's definitely a bit of the pressure. I like how in the previous zone, Quinton said, this is the most pressure I've felt. This is more pressure than the actual World Cup Grand Finale. And the pressure is what you put on yourself. Because Quinton won the money. Oh, here we go. Action. Everybody wake up. Here we go. Niels Heldens, weight lifted. Windad is back. He's going to try and get rid of the rest. So here he goes. 2 power-ups combined. We go back. What does Beth York have to recover with? She waited for Vibeke. She waited for her teammate to try and bring her back. Now everybody gets 2 wind at your backs, 2 weight lifteds, and 1 uncrashable. 1 of each has been used by Nils, Allison, and Beth. Vibeke is at 199. Beth is at 198. So the 2 Velocity Vixen riders are at their limit of what they can do right now to go back to the front. Nils at 140, but he's also at 197. It's Allison who is bridging the gap between Nils and Beth right now. She looks to be the freshest of them all. And she is going to be the one to look out for, as we've still got 11 kilometers left. 2 laps remaining on Temple Run. So anything can happen. Was that a premature attack from Nils, perhaps? Maybe getting lulled in, thinking this is, this is calm, this is collected, this is good, I'm happy with it. Maybe I can go on and see and test the legs. Because you've still got 2 times up that Temple Run hill. But someone like Nils, I think he's got the skills. He wanted to break it up. And in the last race, you heard him say, I was kind of disappointed that Beth didn't work more, take more turns. I think he's going to be looking to working with Allison here because he's all alone. There's no Chris, no Casey, no Tim, no Quinton, no Gus Bauman. It's all Nils Heldens currently out on track. So he's got to take all the help when he can get it, where he can get it. And right now, it is Allison Kubota. So it's in his best interest. But you look over his shoulder, Beth York is right there. She's gotten rid of Vibeke Bertram. She's resting up a tiny bit. 199 equalized heart rate here. As on the right hand side, you can see the 2 enlarged. You can see Nils is at 185, Beth at 198. So a bit more to go. Crucial Bowl says don't rule out Homer. You can never rule out Homer, as he's at 168. Allison goes down though. Bring out that on the replay. Allison falls down. Nils is shaking his head. He's smiling. So Allison in the front. Nils was needing Allison. So Allison there. She goes to the left. She goes to the left. Nils's face tells everything you need to know. And then he smiles. He's like, what just happened? There's no reason for Allison to go. Whoa, so this is what happened. Allison went out of the way to let Nils go through and take a turn. But go to the right. Bring it up on the replay again. Because this is right. Allison wanted to let Nils come through and take a turn. And you go to the left or the right. Normally, it doesn't matter. But when there is an imminent ruck ahead of you, you don't go left, you go right. And when she goes right back in again, she overlaps the wheels. And like Nils cannot be happy with it because he needed Allison to bring down the scoreboard. The battle, the war is between Beth York and Nils Heldens currently for the top spot on the podium. Nils 146, Beth 134. It can change in an instant by Beth going first and Nils going second. So it is in Nils' best interest to have Allison with him and taking turns. But that is just like... Allison will watch that back later on and she'll just face palm and go, if I just go right there, nothing is wrong. But it could be a blessing in disguise for Team Cognition because Homer now, with wind at his back into the headwind, changes it to a tailwind. He is going to try and latch back onto his team leader, Allison Kubota. And Allison is already with Vibeke, or she was. I think she's now waiting for Homer. Vibeke is fighting to get back. So what this means is that Beth is not going to do any of the work on the front. This now, then that concludes in Nils Heldens keeping the pace high. So all these microcosms, all these small events, they play out majorly on a grand scale where every decision, like Allison going left instead of right, has caused all of this. All of this from then to here. That one press of a key button, that is what changed it. A CVR World Cup says lots of new tracks coming to CVRcade soon. Has anybody seen Dashed Against the Rock preview? That's quite cool. Has anyone out there seen Cityscape Water Village? Arguably one of the better looking tracks, if not the best looking track recently added to the game. Massive fan of that. Can't wait to see that be raced. And yeah, it's going to be fun to see when new tracks get added because it turns into a game of knowledge. Who can learn the corner speeds? Who can learn the feel and flow of the track? Barnyard Velo is something I'm excited to see raced as well here. as Vibeke 197. She was meant to be on the stream, but unfortunately I don't think she quite made all the connection in, so we can only imagine Vibeke on her rooftop cycling away, but she's got a 2-second gap. He's at 197. Beth is going to need all the help she can get. The two ladies are going to try and team up here on Nils, but Nils is going to have none of it. Allison and Homer are working together. This is wide open. DK Mansuni, as an honorary member of the chat, who do you think is going to win this? And your vote is final. Whoever you think is going to win is most likely going to win. So I want it in the chat right now, DK. Who are you cheering for? Who do you think will win? And why? As Vibeke Bertram now gets back on. Nils is 194, Beth 197, Vibeke 195. This is a battle of the trenches. They're just slugging it out. They're like riding in mud. Feels like they're getting nowhere, as 4 laps of Temple Run can be tough. But when you look at the facial expressions of Beth and Nils, Nils seems a bit more relaxed, a bit more calm. He's even got time to play with the camera. So he's got the composure, he's got the rest. It's going to be interesting because they each have one power-up left. They each have one weight lifted, one wind at their back, and then uncrashable. Now, I imagine you wait on the uncrashable. You wait on the very final corner, as you heard Nigel Doyle say. That's where he lost it to Alison Kubota. So I think that's where you see it again. Here's Nils, stands up. He dances on the pedals, and he's making Beth feel it. 199. How much does she have left? Now, as DK Mansuni has spoken, everybody pick up your tents. It's time to go home. She thinks, or he thinks, Homer Thompson is going to win from behind. 15 seconds is the gap. It could happen. That is a long distance to make up here, but that is a bold claim, bold statement, but that's what we're here for. Big, bold batter. Now, 200 on the left, 199 on the right. These are the two phases at their absolute max of what they can give. Fantastic sportsmanship, fantastic racing here as they're pushing out everything they've got. Vibeke getting a great tow here as well. She's currently in third. She's fighting with Timothy for fourth. He's down with the butt patrol. He's still within a chance of hitting onto the podium as we've got 7.1 kilometers to go. Taffy Ellis says rooting for Beth. Well, Beth has got fans. We all remember on Tuesday, I can't remember the name though. Oh, so good, that person in chat who's like, Beth, play Fortnite with me, I love you. And then emojis, 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 and emojis, and emojis, and more. As there's an orchestrated move here in the back. Allison Homer, wind at their back. 18 seconds is the gap. DK Mansuni, oh, does Allison, she goes right twice this time. Not only once, but twice. She's learned, she's picked up the mistake. As DK Mansuni thinks Homer. 15 seconds, 16 seconds. You'd have to imagine Homer is feeling the efforts of the first zone. After all, he is human. As Vibeke Bertram, oh, she's going to be careful she doesn't crash. Ooh, she breaks. That is a good one. That'd be a good replay as she attacks the corner with a weight lifted. Questionable strategy there, as you know the corner's coming up. You know you need to brake. Let's see it on the replay as she attacks into the corner. It is the right time to attack, the wrong place to do it. As you can see, right top right, weight lifted, 52, 53, she slows down, 57, 46. She gets down in speed just in time, but then there's not much of a difference. But if you were Nils, I don't think you're too concerned about Vibeke, because it's about the overall, perhaps. It could be the stage win. Right now, only the Tempest, Nils Heldens, knows what he wants. But he has the luxury of saying, you know what, Vibeke, you're not in the contention for the win overall, as long as I keep second place, so you could let her go. But that may not be in Nils' interest, as he may be wanting every single stage win. And with Vibeke attacking, this puts Beth in a peculiar situation because she needs to get back on. This attack only really succeeds if Beth gets on the wheel here of Nils and she gets a rest. Now she gets back on and she slows down to not slide out. Nils goes to 43, Beth goes to 45 here. We saw Homer Thompson crash in this area last time around. It won't be for Beth, it won't be for Nils. 15 seconds back is still Allison and Homer, but there's one lap remaining. 5.3 kilometers left here as Niels slows down. Allison just, in the Homer Thompson chicane, she stacks it. She's done. She's gone. I'm done. I'm getting off. Nope, that's it. She's back on. She's got weight lifted. 700 equalized watt. She's ready. Homer sitting up and waiting on his teammate. So there's some teammanship going on there. But what that ultimately means, DK Mansuni, Homer Thompson, it looks very, very tough to be the name of the game. So Beth and Niels about to enter the bell lap, the last lap here. Sun shower. Batista says, "Go on, Beth. Go, Beth." So fans for Beth, Tay Fearless and Batista, thinking that Beth York can go on and take this. This is going to set up the last race, that is Country Rally. Vibeke is at 200 equalized heart rate. So the Great Dane here is feeling the effort. She's fighting. Can she sustain this? 201, and she's only on the beginning slopes of Temple Run. She's embarked on a mission that I'm not sure she knows. Just the journey she's got ahead of her. She's got the ring. She's going to take it to Mordor. She's going to see if she can get there. 3 seconds is the gap. Niels held in. Sebastian Vettel. He's got the Ferrari engine all riled up here. Beth York sitting on the wheel. 195, 198. These riders have been so high out there. It is crazy how high up there they've just been fighting and fighting. And every time you think, this is it. This is the matchbook. It's all done. Now they're going to be in the cold. They're going to be freezing. They're going to be done. They find another matchbook. I mean, I want to know what matchbook shop they shop in, because I want to shop in the same place here. As Niels, Beth, Vibeke have been pushing it. Kastrup is back. He says rooting for Niels. So we got 2 votes for Beth, 1 for Homer, and 1 for Niels. DK says, well, you can't be right every time, Jesper. Wrong. You can be right every time. Just not this time. As now Beth sits on the wheel. I'm not sure if this move here is interesting for Velocity Vixen. I like it to win the stage win. I like it for the glory. Like we all know, the ethos of Velocity is to share the wealth. It's just like Cognition. You want consistency. You want everybody to have fun. You want everybody to do well here. As Niels just ups the pace again to 400. But if you're a Beth, you're kind of thinking about the overall here, and you're thinking about your chances on Country Rally, because Niels is quite good on Country Rally. He's really mastered. That said, Beth has been good too. This is tough. This is why you need a sports director. You need somebody to make these decisions, because it's crazy. But Vibeke is still at 201. At the beginning of the slopes, she was at 200. In the earlier stages of the slopes, 200. Now she's in the middle, almost the middle. Still 201. She is just pushing everything she's got, getting the best exercise there is in a game that is free to play. So definitely winning on multiple stages here, as now Niels and Beth go side to side. Niels has gone on to the attack here. He has gotten a bit of a gap. 2 seconds is the distance, and he's going to try and use this. He's got it. Kastrup says Niels is waiting. He will attack soon, and Kastrup was so right. Niels has gone. Beth can just see him up the road, but she's got to fight in here, because that attack from Vibeke, it may not be safe. Niels still has power up left. He still has something remaining here, so he's got to go on through it. He's got to fight, because 7 seconds up to Vibeke, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Vibeke's at 202, as I think Beth may have just blown it. Weight lifted, wind at her back, last ditch effort. She's got a 30-second gap to Homer and Allison. May not be the case, but now it is Niels versus Vibeke on the front. 5 seconds is the difference. We've already seen one Cycling Hub member just obliterating the field in Zone K. And now Niels Heldens is trying to do his teammates proud. He knows they're all watching, and he does it. He makes a connection. Vibeke is going to have to try and pull a block. Niels knows it. Will he go right? He goes right. He goes left. They're both at 199, and Vibeke doesn't execute on the block. 3 kilometers an hour. Vibeke accelerates again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a great finale here. 2 riders who have emptied the tank. 4 laps of Temple Run, In the Constitution, it says no crime, no cruel and unusual punishment. But right underneath it says, except for 4 laps of Temple Run. And right now, Niels Heldens and Vibeke Bertram, they are feeling that. And Vibeke is just blown. She's just blown. She went to 0. I think she was changing gears. I think she was getting an easier gear so she can get back on top of the cadence as he was coming down. And so 2 seconds, you've been in the front, you felt it, 200 equalized watts, or it's equalized heart rate. This could not be a better finish. Beth has just blown a gasket, the car is by the side of the road, she's waiting for AAA. Meanwhile, Niels and Vibeke has got great coverage. 1.7 kilometers remaining. Niels with a 2-second gap. The heart rates are coming down. It's fun to see the adrenaline. You can kind of see when the excitement kicks in because they stay out there. They're feeling it. They're like, it's now or never. And then you think you've got a chance to win it. That's when you realize, I'm in it. I've got to finish it. The heart rate comes down. The adrenaline rushes through the body. That's kind of where the pain starts to come in. You're thinking, oh, my left leg, my right leg, my knee, my ankle, my left toe. We've all been there. So can Vibeke Bertram get back in? DK Mansuni has changed the pick from Homer Thompson to Vibeke Bertram. And so by default, Vibeke Bertram wins. We all know that, as DK Mansuni is awesome. But can Vibeke get just on terms with Niels? She's got Uncrashable, so does Niels. Whoever enters that final corner first has got a massive advantage, and they both know it, and that's why they're fighting for every inch. Now, Vibeke somewhat has an advantage because she kind of has the carrot to chase. She can see the person ahead of her, and therefore she can go a bit harder. But Niels, he is in the front. Sometimes it's easier to be the one dishing out the pain than the one being dished the pain out on. After this, by the way, we're finishing off with Country Rally. We've got 3 laps, 1 Uncrashable, 1 Racer's Edge, which will determine who wins this Omnium. But so far, it looks to be Niels Heldens in the hot seat. He allows himself a tiny bit of a smile there as he sees Vibeke coming through the corner. He stands up. Vibeke at 45, Niels at 46. They've both got Uncrashable left. They've both got that very vital power for the final corner. 2 seconds is the difference. Vibeke has got more momentum. She's got 2 kilometers an hour quicker than Niels, but it may not matter. Wind at his back. Uncrashable for Niels Heldens. No wind at her back for Vibeke Bertram. And Sebastian Vettel is going to do a shoey on the podium as Niels, with the celebration, takes the victory in front of Vibeke Bertram and Beth York. Those strategies from Velocity Vixens will be debated after this. Was it the right move to send Vibeke up the road? Could Beth have done more to sustain it? These are the things that you've got to iron out as a team to find out when you are racing for that money. How would you do it if you were to be there again? Castrop says, great race, Niels. Great effort, Vibeke. I can only echo those words. Sunshower with a GG in the chat. Biking Goose wanting the Dutch national anthem. Well, you would have gotten the Danish one if Vibeke came first, but there will be no, it is a pretty land. But let's see the instant replay once more of Niels. I love Niels' celebrations because they're always on point. Just emphasis on, you know, emotion, on the joy and the euphoria of having such a tough race, crossing the line first and being able to celebrate. I'm sure right now the Cycling Hub group chat is going wild because that's not an easy race to be at top heart rate for so long. Vibeke was like 202 for what seemed like a lap almost as Niels Heldens with the victory. Niels, congratulations, man. Yeah. That may have been one of the toughest races I've ever seen. Was that the case?
Well, 3 laps of an island is still a tiny bit tougher, in my opinion. But this was hard, especially having teammates Nair and Vixen really playing the team tactics. And I kind of didn't understand why they would sit on the back because Cognition was sort of chasing. So, yeah, they could have done a bit of work to at least extend the gap and then make sure that we can race, us 3 can race for the victory. But they obviously thought something different. They sent Vibeke up the road. Which I don't really agree with, but I can see why they did it. yeah, then we came up on the final climb, and I was like, well, just send it now. It's going to be fun. So yeah, it was a good race, good fun, and especially nice to win solo as well for once.
Well, Biking Goose and Castro were both cheering for you, so your countrymen were there. Nils, congratulations. One last race
I
coming
won
up.
the Dutch national anthem, by the way.
Huh?
I won the anthem. I won the Dutch national anthem in a bit. I won that.
Well, we'll have to Google the lyrics, but we'll figure it out. Congratulations, Nils. You can sing it for us. Well, we'll come back to you, Nils. In the end, if you win this, I'm expecting Dutch national anthem. I may even join you in, or we can both be two stray cats singing our lungs out. But Mickey, oh my goodness! If I could only think of something worse. But Mickey with the GG in the chat. Let's go to Beth because Nils there questioning the strategies. It did look like there were multiple fronts at play. What's the strategy from Vixen?
Well, on the second lap, we had the numbers before Vibeke crashed. And then I kind of made the decision, that if we could get back together, we could work on something. But I didn't have the legs to make an attack stick that early in the race. We weren't quite halfway through. When Vibeke closed, got a little recovery, decided to make the attack. We wanted to make Niels try to cover that, and I was supposed to stay on his wheel. I just didn't have the legs to stay and then come over the top and go with Vibeke. So just a failure of the legs, failure of execution. I think the strategy was right, but it didn't look good because we didn't do it.
Well, you get another chance here. You got Country Rally. You just gotta beat Nils, and then it's gotta be a person in between here. I believe you got it in your Beth. Just one more time for the day. I'll let you get ready. Somebody I won't let get ready here because Timothy, did you finish the last race? I just want confirmation here. Did you finish the last race?
Nah, I didn't have time enough.
Okay. Because I saw you on the scoreboard. I thought there was a possibility of you taking over Vibeke, but no, since you didn't finish, we're between Homer and Vibeke. Good luck in the next race here as we get ready. Ryan is on the scoreboard as well. He's in 6th place. Been very quiet today here despite his Velocity Vixen team members really showing up here. Maybe he'll be able to do something. If Niels wins this race, Niels has agreed to do karaoke on the Dutch national anthem. So I think from everybody, I think we all want to see the Tempest take this one. But equally so, Beth Yorick recovery on getting back on and winning this one. She's got a chance. She just needs somebody to get in between her and Niels Heldens on 3 laps of Country Rally. It's a tough ask, but I think they've all looked at the last race. I think they've looked at the racing and they saw, you know what? Saving that power up, saving Uncrashable, saving Racer's Edge to the end like Allison did, looks to be a good move. So everybody's saving it from the gun. You go back, you get Timothy in 6th. He's here with, he gets close to crashing on that hay bale as he's with Thomas Tippling of CCC. You've got Ryan Goldenberg down in 8th, just getting back into the swing of things. Allison is in 4th. She's had a good race today. It's a question of what could have been for Allison had she raced the first race. So timing conflict there between the end of the first Omnium and the beginning of the second one. She may have been a chance here of winning it, but Nils takes the top spot here. Sorry, Beth takes the top spot here ahead of Nils out on track as they swap positions. But Beth needs more. She needs Vibeke once more here. She needs Vibeke to come on through. So the dangerous duo of Beth Yorick and Vibeke Bertram, they've got a chance here to overcome the lead made by Niels Heldens. But it requires 2 flawless laps of Country Rally as Beth just gets around the grid there on the side of the road. She doesn't crash. Come on to the locks. Vibeke takes a left here. Can she come on through? Nils activates his Racer's Edge. Vibeke, though, gets very close to crashing. Doesn't happen. Racer's Edge goes. Nils with his. I think we may see an Uncrashable, or he's going to let it go on through, but he's got the gap. 2.3 kilometers remaining. A lap and a half of Country Rally. This is only the first week here. First week of run-up races as Vibeke Bertram with maybe a bit of a premature Uncrashable, but she will go on through. She'll pass her teammate out on track. How much does Beth Yorick have left in the legs at this current point? She's going to have to keep fighting, keep working. And Vibeke goes down. She hits the side of the hay bale. So all that work gets nullified as Allison comes through. Thomas comes through. But soon to be singing the Dutch national anthem, if this keeps up, is Niels Heldens. Now, question is, what's it even called? That is something in the chat you guys can help out with, because that will be interesting. I see the Dutch national anthem is called Wilhelmus van Nussov, or just Wilhelmus. So that will be interesting if that keeps up. But Beth second, Allison third, Vibeke. The fight for secondary positions here is heating up. Thomas and Vibeke, battle of Öresund, battle of the bridge, battle of Sweden versus Denmark here. As we both know that Denmark is the superior country in that fight. As Vibeke at 200 equalized heart rate. She's going to attack on through. Allison further up. Last lap is soon commencing. And once more, I mean, what is in the water over at the Cycling Hub facilities? They have just got some miracle, thing they've got going on that seems to be doing wonders for them as this is happening here. Biking Who says Wilhelmus. Yes, I googled it just to be sure as well what it was. So Truth says much later, racing with nuts in your mouth. Oh my. Yeah, Truth, I'm not sure. Truth, when are we going to see you on the platform, Truth? I want to see you racing. I want to see you in here with the rest of us getting, down and gritty. As Niels Heldens of the Netherlands, Team Cycling Up. He has won 2 races. He's about to make it a third one, winning by 30 points. We saw Quinten add his name to the list of stars who have won 4 out of 4. The Invincible, and he's also 3 for 3 on Omniums on the year. How long can that streak keep up for our CVRcade World Cup Grand Finale champion? That is something we're going to keep an eye on as that story develops. But right now, Dutch kit in real life, Dutch national anthem by heart, and now Team Cycling Hub's Niels Heldens has just got to finish off this lap here. Unless Allison can do, because I did the exact same thing last time. I thought, Casey's got it. He's got the second place. He's going to come on through. Then Allison goes, uncrashable, racer's edge, whoosh. And she goes right on through here. As Kastrup says, good race, Thomas. And it's been a good race by Thomas Tippling. As now, here it is again. Once more, the faithful attempt here by Allison. Uncrashable, racer's edge. But the gap is too much to make up. Niels Heldens on the straightaway. Prepares for landing as the Boeing 737 will cross the finish line first. This is your captain speaking, Sebastian Vettel. Niels Heldens takes the victory. Allison gets second, Beth gets third, which gets Beth second place in the Omnium. Vibeke will get third, despite the attacks at the end. I really wonder what Allison could have done here. To get fourth without finishing the first race is very impressive. You've got Ryan in seventh. I think Timothy Tamont has just stopped by the side of the road. Timothy says, what's happening?
It's nothing much good. I decided to stop here because it wasn't helping me at all.
Wow. It's okay, Timothy. There'll be more racing coming up. Let's run the replay once more of Niels Heldens crossing the finish line as Niels scrambles for the national anthem to find the lyric. Oh, he's got the flat. Oh, it's going to be good. So we see Thomas, we see Allison, we see Niels here. So we catch the highlight once more. Allison coming on through. She tried her very best to get back on at the end, but despite having racer's edge and uncrashable, Niels Heldens, he's got that straight away. No one inside. Gets the celebrations. Man, Niels, I see you. You've got the flag there.
Yeah, I had it laying here anyway, so some reason, because I never use it. Because we aren't that good in football anymore. So.
Oh, that is true. Now, I believe you owe us a national anthem.
Well, if you can put up the sound, I can sing it for you.
I'm fairly certain it's copyrighted, but I think we can. I think we can figure something out. But I think we'll make a video. We'll figure out a way to get the national anthem up. But just disclaimer beforehand, guys. That's gonna be fun. But Niels, congratulations, 2 for 2.
Thank you.
Does it feel good?
Oh, definitely. It doesn't it's pretty good to win a second Omnium of the year. I think it is, well, second proper Omnium anyways. So that's good, especially after getting up at 5 in the morning today. So better than I expected.
Now, what did you get at McDonald's? Because if somebody out there wants to recreate the Niels Helden's method, what's the order?
Today I went for large fries, Big Mac, 9 chicken nuggets.
9 chicken. You gotta get 20.
No, mate, I'm not Tim. I can't handle that much food. I'm skinny.
What's the drink of choice?
Coke. Not cocaine, but Coke Zero.
Glad for that clarification. Just if anyone out there was wondering, is it not? No, he was making Coca-Cola, right? That is a liquid you can get at McDonald's. Anyway, Niels, I'm sure that there'll be people lining up at McDonald's trying they'll be like, can I have what Niels Heldens of the Netherlands had? Yes, no, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Congratulations, Niels. Let's go and hear from Beth York, who takes a second place. Beth, overall, you take 1 win, you get second, you get third. Are you happy with that performance?
Hey, I am so happy with this performance. On Thursday mornings, I lead a spin class at the Y, and I was coming into this feeling I went way harder than I expected to, and that's just the beauty of having some teammates in there to push you and to try some stuff. We think of this as the, it's the run-up races. It's okay to kind of try and experiment with things. So super good training. Of course, going head-to-head with Niels. I've got some work to do to try to match his intensity. But I'll tell you, my Peeps diet is looking a heck of a lot healthier than the Big Mac, chicken nuggets, Coca-Cola. So I think if I had that, I would be throwing up right now. So I'll just eat my little tangerine and call it a day. But great racing, super fun. CVRcade just pushes you every single time, even when you feel like you can't bring it. Super fun racing today. So thanks to my teammates for coming out, and great fun.
Well, it was only 9 chicken nuggets, so it's not that unhealthy from Niels. It could have been 20, like a real person. Anyway, I love it, Niels.
You can order them by the number, Jesper. You can just be like, I'll have a Niels,
Yes.
number 7.
It's like, the secret menu you can order from is like that. You just go, I like the Niels, please. Can I have the Niels? And then you just have to do that everywhere you go. And if they actually know it, then you're with a true OG. Thanks, Beth. Thanks, Niels. Final words. I kind of want to get from Ryan, because Ryan, did you race today?
Yes and no. I was on the riders nearby, but I wasn't very nearby. I think there's a chance that I could have been downgraded to a cadet. So you and me will be in the same boat. Give us each something to compete for. But yeah, it was tough. I'll have to show up a little bit more, go a little bit harder to get my accreditation back.
Well, we can have a race. Whoever becomes a cake competitor first wins. I've got one Saturday every week. You've got Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all good. Ryan, I look forward to seeing you recover to your great strengths. As we've seen you get very good. You're in the World Cup Grand Finale, so it'll be good to have you back. But ladies and gentlemen, as we watch the highlights of Zone K and L, that is all she wrote today for 2 great zones. Team Cycling Hub continue the dominance. New year, but definitely not new Team Cycling Hub. Much more of the same. The Niels Helden's McDonald's order revolutionizes the world, and by 2025 we expect it to be taken over and be the main menu of choice everywhere. Quinton doing the impossible, doing the unthinkable, winning every single race of an Omnium, taking maximum points. Good to see he's in, but is he peaking too early? We're in the run-up to the World Cup. We saw riders last season do very, very well early on, but then we got further in and suddenly the fatigue creeped in, suddenly the mental fatigue as well. It's tough, but it's good racing. Thank you to Castro, Biking Who's, Truth XXX. Thank you to Tay Fearless. Thank you to KG Mod. Thanks to CVR World Cup. Thank you so much for everybody. Thank you to Husky Marker as well for joining in on the action today. It's good to have a lively chat with 25 viewers. It's good to have you all in here. DK Mansuni on as guest of the day. Was not on point with Homer Thompson. Was not on point with Vibeke Bertram. I think it's back to the drawing board. I think you've got to watch some more streams to figure out who's going to win. We had the rubber match. We had the comeback, the rematch here on the second race on Submerged Stadium. Niels Heldens versus Beth York. This time around, it was Niels Heldens who emerged victorious, forcing a mistake out of Beth. And you can see Niels has been waiting that. Niels has been probably thinking there ever since the first race in November. He's been like looking at the wall, a bit like it's a prison cell. You know, in a prison cell, you have a piece of chalk or a piece of rock, and you just check off the days, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and like that, like line across it, going 5, and like, you know, old school. I'm not saying he lives in a prison, but I'm just saying ever since then, he's just been thinking about this day, and then the day finally comes, and you know we're going to get that third and all-important rubber match. Who's going to be the best rider on Submerged State? I think that's bigger than the CVRcade World Cup. Scratch it. Scratch Season 2. The main event that we're all waiting for is Niels Heldens versus Beth York again on Submerged Stadium here as we watch the finale of Temple Run. Good racing on that today with 4 races. As I think I pronounced Goose. I think Goose was not happy with the way I pronounced his name. It's okay, Goose. You can be the Goose. You can be the Gus. You can be whatever you want with us as you're watching the final bit. Now, if you want to get involved, I know we have 25 viewers. A lot are out there. I hope you get. I hope you recover, as I know a lot of people out there dealing with sickness into the new year. Hope you get back on tonight. I believe Beth will be on the microphone covering Zone T. If all the stars align and we have Beth commentating Saturday morning, I myself will be kidding up for the first time in like 3-4 months, and I will race Zone E, which is midday my time, 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. over in the U.S. So keep an eye on that. Maybe click the follow button. Watch the racing. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be different because I'm a Cade cadet. So me and Ryan at the back. I think Renee Valades might join as well. So we should just flip the broadcast. Look at the back rather than looking at the front. Anyway, I can't wait to see who shows up. I think it'll be good racing from all of us here at the CVR World Cup. Thank you so much for watching more CVRcade racing. You watched Dark Matter Tech, Submerged Stadium, Temple Run, and Country Rally, with Quinton winning the first zone and Niels Heldens winning the second one. We'll see you later tonight in Zone T for more racing. 7 hours from now, we're back. But until then, we'll see you. But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.